Hey, I am live. Let me pull up the chat. I don't know why I can't see it from my laptop.
Including the whole.
Oops. Got it. Hey, Abu, how you doing? Long time no see. Hey, Amber. Hey, Skyrim. Hey, Shamanic. The title is blowing you. Yeah, this is a sponsored video. Hey, Tyrell, how you doing? Hey, Tully C. Just getting warmed up for this live stream. I'm kind of rusty, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. It's been a while. Oh, I miss you too, Abu. Hey, Contemplating Key, what's up? Hope y'all can hear me fine. Hey, Queen DD Worldwide, what's up? Yes, lunar eclipse. And you know what? It's right on my fourth house cusp and my midheaven. So I'm expecting some good things to come with that. Hey, Isaac. Hey, Moonlight. Duel of the Iron Mike in the moonlight. Ooh, I gotta get warmed up. So yeah, this is a sponsored video that the sponsor wanted me to do it live. So I was like, okay, let me do it live. And I told her I would do it before this month is over. And you know, this month is almost over already. October flew by. This whole year flew by. Hey, Wellness. Hey, Callie, how you doing? But yeah, hey, Annie, how you doing? All my day ones are up in here. Hey, Derek. Hey, Awkward Letter, what's up? So you love some R&B, 98 to the early 2000s? Okay. My favorite R&B is from like the 70s. Well, no, I got to add the 60s to it because Motown. So I'll say the 60s going all through the 90s. After the year 2000, R&B kind of fell off, in my opinion. Same with hip hop. Hey, Christina. What's up, girl? I miss you. I miss you so much. I followed you today. What song was that? Was that Orange Juice Jones? I saw you and him walking in the rain. You were holding hands, and I'll never be the same. That was the only song he had. But that was the shit back in the day. I saw you and him walking in the rain. Man, he was hurt in that song. But yeah, so you got, yeah, book a reader with me, just Amber. So before I get into the main topic, I did want to discuss some current events before I get into the R&B singers. Shamanic Journey said R&B did fall off after 2003. 2003 was the worst year for music. I think, wait a minute, I can't see because it's damn thing. I think 9/11 played a part in that. You know what? A lot of shit went downhill after 9/11. We lost a lot of our freedoms. Creativity seemed to suffer. Hey, Adrian, what's up? Yeah, remember Orange Juice Joe? Walking in the rain. Yeah. Y'all gonna have to excuse me since we're talking about R&B. You know I'm gonna have to serenade y'all tonight. Yeah, so let me see. We got 30 people up in here. I'm gonna wait till, let's see, till we get to like 45 for me to get into the current events. Justin Timberlake ruined R&B. You know what? I like some of Justin Timberlake songs from back in the day. Remember, like, I want to rock your body here today, dance with me. You don't have to, something on the pain. And then remember, he did Cry Me a River. That was pretty good. And then there was another one too that I liked of his. The one with Pharrell. You said, I don't like what he did to Britney. Well, you know, speaking of Britney, she recently released her book around the same time Jada Pinkett released her book. Now, I'm not going to get into Britney Spears tonight, but I am going to talk about Jada a little bit. since she's a hot topic right now. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Fly Lily. You said he's today's Elvis. Who? Justin Timberlake. He hasn't put out. Hey, A. McKinney. Justin Timberlake really hasn't put out anything as of late. Unless I'm not, I haven't been hip to what he's been putting out. Isn't Justin Timberlake an Aquarius? Y'all let me know. What's his sign? Oh, yeah, here you go. Queen DD said yes. He's a dark side Aquarius. That's why he ripped that thing off of Janet Jackson's costume and had her boob hanging out. Awkward Letter said they released the book because they Sagittarius energy, the publishing. That's right. Yes, Sagittarius rules publishing. But yeah, let me tell you, I've had a year, mainly because of a couple of transits I've been dealing with, and they're still not over yet. One of them will be over next March. That's Neptune squaring my Mars. And then the other one will be over in December, Pluto squaring my Venus. So it has not been a typical year for me. I could definitely tell you that. But thank God I so far been able to survive those transits. But there's been a couple of times dealing with these transits that I have, have my doubts about, like, where's my life headed? What the hell is going on here? Contemplating, he said, Ra, have you heard? I can't see this because this emoji thing is in the way. I gotta wait for the comments to go up. Have you heard October London? Such an old school vibe. No, haven't heard. I'm gonna have to check them out, especially if it's an old school vibe. Speaking of old school vibe, oh, we got 39 in here. We got a few more, and then I'll get into the current events. Speaking of old school vibe, I don't know if y'all heard that new song that Tyrese put out in response to his ex-wife, basically making the rounds on social media, talking about their marriage and the reason why she got divorced. Tyrese, he going too far with it. But I'm gonna get into his chart a little bit too before we get into the R&B. I think he really dealing with some mental health issues. Yes, Abu, love some old school R&B. Yeah, that's what it's called, Felicia, the transaction song. Love is transactional love or some crap like that. Hey, Natasha, what's up? But I'm like, I get that video. I tried watching all of it, that transactional love video. I wish I could play it, but I'll probably get a copyright strike. But that shit was 8 minutes long. I was like, what the hell? I don't got time for all this. Yes, Tyrese is definitely a narc. And I'm like, didn't he have a bad, his first marriage was bad? Like, he doesn't learn his lesson? Whatever you want, girl, you know I can provide. Call 622-2135. Now maybe I should fly right over, show you my new ride, or take you shopping out on the town. That line right there, take you shopping out on the town. That's what I'm talking about. Nowadays, these dudes be acting like, they're so cheap. They don't want to take you out shopping. They don't want to hardly pay for dinner and stuff. Now, I'm not saying you got to be like the chick with the Cheesecake Factory video. And that Cheesecake Factory video, for those who've seen it, that was a skit, right? But I'm not saying you got to be like that as a woman where you're turning your nose up at the Cheesecake Factory. But damn, men are supposed to show women that they are interested and supposed to put forth an effort. I mean, it's only money at the end of the day. Or take you shopping out on the town. Will it make you feel your best? That's what I'm talking about. Take me shopping out on the town. And you don't got to do it all the time. But damn, make a woman feel special. Must be a special lady. Y'all remember that song? Only my old school viewers know this. And a very exciting girl. See, our parents, they listen to shit like that. Must be a special lady, 'cause you got me spinning on top of the world. Now, who sang that song? I don't even know who sang that song. Ray Goodman and Brown, was that who it was? They knew how to sing the women back in the day, boy. They would sing the panties right off of you. Queen DD said, listen, Cheesecake Factory, delicious and nutritious. I will be snatching their dates since you too good for brown bread. Shoot, right? I don't mind Cheesecake Factory. Hell yeah, I like Smokey Robinson, Tyreek. Especially when he was with the Miracles. Baby, baby, don't cry, because love is here, standing by. Love is here, standing by. Now, Smokey Robinson, he's not on my list for tonight, but Smokey Robinson, he one of them dudes that started off looking real fine, and then when he got old, it was like, ooh, especially when he had that Jerry curl looking fro. Oh, let me put down my Cash App. Oh, I meant to set up my thing. Hold on. I'm going to put it in the description section. Must be a special lady and a very exciting girl. Must be a special lady, 'cause you got me sitting on top of the world. All right. Hold on. I got to set up this, what you call it, on my, my channel. And Teddy Pendergrass, I wanted him to be on the list, but where is Kawaii Honey? Because she's the one that sponsored this video. So I was surprised she didn't add Teddy Pendergrass. But you know, Teddy Pendergrass, he ruled the late 70s and 80s. Oh my God. I'm lying here, waiting, my dear. Come get what you want anytime you want it. Luther too, he's not on my list, unfortunately. Come and get what you need, give me what I need. Wait a minute, Fly Lily says Smokey put out a soft porn album. For real? I love it when we're cruising together. We're gonna fly away, pleasure gone my way. I love it when we're cruising together. All right. Oh, let me put the Cash App in the description. Do 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 do. Cruise with me, baby. From here. And if you want it, you got it ever. Let the music take your mind. Oh man, don't get me started. We're gonna fly away, pleasure go my way. Yes, I got Marvin Gaye on the list. Okay, we have 46 people in the chat. So let me start with this PowerPoint. Let me share my PowerPoint. Let me share my screen. Got it. Gonna get you, gonna put those moves on you, gonna get you. All right. Hold on, let me go on the slideshow. If you see me walking down the street. Know what song I do like? Paint the Town Red, because she got that Walk On By beat in there. Doja Cat. Walk on by. Dun, 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 dun. Walk on by. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that song is kind of hot. I paint the town red. She a devil. Devil. Doja Cat kind of crazy though, but she got a 12th house stellium in Libra, so that kind of goes with the territory. She a devil, she a bad little bitch, she a rebel. Awkward Letter said Gerald Levert's best performance was when he rolled on the floor when he did that Patti LaBelle tribute. No, he didn't with his big ass. He rolled on the floor. Johnny Taylor. Who's making love to your old lady? Are you? Wait a minute. He said, while you out making love. Ain't that Johnny Taylor? And he also did Jody. Jody's got your girl and gone. Queen said, I cannot stand Doja's demonic ass. You know what? She can be kind of tired with that, but I have to admit, I do like that paint the town red. I paint the town red. She a rebel, or she a devil. She a bad little bitch, she a rebel. But yeah, all right. So like I said, before we get into this R&B of the 70s and 80s, we're going to get into some current events. So this video has been sponsored by Kawaii Honey. I'm still waiting for Kawaii Honey to show up. Maybe she fell asleep. All right. Tyrese looking all stressed out. What's up with his eyes? Why he look like he always be crying? But yeah, so Tyrese is going through it right now because his ex-wife slash baby mama is basically going around giving interviews about her marriage to Tyrese and the breakup and the divorce. And she actually said in an interview, she was like, yeah, I kind of regret, filing for divorce the way I did or whatever like that. But Tyrese claims he gave her a chance to come back and reconcile, and she didn't take him up on the offer. Yes, don't he look constipated? And his skin is looking kind of bad. Like, what's going on? Like, maybe you used to switch from shaving to the magic shave. But yeah, he's another one. He wasn't bad looking back in the day. And now as he's aging, he's kind of looking kind of dusty. So Tyrese Gibson calls out ex-wife Samantha for clout chasing after the divorce, what that says or whatever. But I remember when he first married her and he was trying to claim that he was Arab and all this stuff. Because isn't she Arab? Yeah, he does need to exfoliate. But yeah, and he was wearing like the turban and that whole get up and stuff, acting like he was from Saudi Arabia and all this type of stuff. See, Tyrese's problem is he's too superficial. And, when a man is all about how a woman looks, he's liable to choose a woman that's all about what's in his pockets. It's as simple as that. And I don't understand why a lot of these men with money don't understand that. So she's biracial. Is she half Arab? Like, it's 2023. Why don't these men understand it? And then they think, okay, I'll just get a prenup, which he claims he did. But then they don't realize, okay, if you have children with this woman, she's still going to get a large portion of your bag. Why are you acting so surprised about this? He made a whole video talking about love transactional or transactional love and stuff. Exactly, Annie. It's transactional both ways. Why don't these men understand it? Oh, so she's black and white. Okay. But yeah, it's like, what do you expect? And then I know he wasn't probably the model husband. So, you treat your wife a certain way, then you're surprised when she divorces you. So here's Tyrese's chart. The main thing about his chart is he has Taurus on the 7th house cuts. And that can deal with getting with a partner, marrying someone who is after your money. If they're not after your money, they at least are looking to you to provide financial security. And then when we look at his Venus, it's in Scorpio, conjoined to Uranus. That can make it easy for him to attract a woman who is just looking for convenience. She's looking for a come up, and where she has this sense of entitlement to what he has. So he's already been through this before. He's already been on social media crying, like, what more do you want from me and all this stuff. But it's like, dude, why aren't you learning your lessons? He also has Moon conjunct Mars, which could deal with anger that's directed towards a woman. But this can also deal with racial issues that he has with his own racial identity. So he's prone to target women that can help him to basically wash away that blackness, that black stain that he considers himself to be marked with. Trust and believe Tyrese got some serious racial issues with that stellium in Capricorn, Moon conjunct Mars. Capricorn is the sign of the color black. Now, again, like I always say, Capricorn don't rule the black race per se, but the word black is ruled by Capricorn, the color black. So if you're hearing black all the time, like I'm sure when he was growing up, he was called black ass this, or you black and crispy, or you, a lot of dark-skinned men, they internalize that and they end up hating their own race. They end up being filled with self-hate. And that's Tyrese's problem. Tyrese got Mars square Pluto. That's self-hate right there. Self-hate, self-loathing. And with the Pluto, it's like he's trying to marry out. He's trying to marry the blackness out or mate out the blackness. That's why in that video, that transactional love video, you see in a few scenes where he's brushing his wife's hair. Well, his wife at the time. And I think he's brushing his daughter's hair and stuff like that. Like, he's like really messed up in the head when it comes to race and racial identity and self-love and all that stuff. And it's like, when are these men going to get it? If you're dealing with self-hate, you're not going to attract someone that loves you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got to work that shit out first before. And that's funny you said that, Felicia, he needs therapy. But with that Mars square Pluto, that's showing that he's probably resistant to therapy because he don't think he's the problem. He's always looking at women like they're the problem. But yeah, I don't feel sorry for him because he's arrogant. That Sun conjunct Mars can make him a narcissist. Always crying the victim and shit. But I'm like, again, what do you expect? This is how the world works. You want a certain type of woman, then you're going to have to pay what you weigh, basically. All right, so that's that. Now let's get into this Dwight Howard situation. Some of y'all already know about this story with Dwight Howard, basketball player. Is he still playing basketball or has he retired? Y'all let me know. Look at his eyes, man. He got eyes of a maniac. So y'all let me know, is Dwight Howard still playing basketball or has he retired? I think he was born in 85. So what would that make him? Yes. So basically, Dwight Howard, let me read about this story real quick because this is very concerning. That's why I chose that picture, Awkward Letter. He does look like he's about to cop a squat and take a dump right on the court. Lord Jesus. All right, hold on. Let me look up this story real quick so we can refresh our memory about what's going on. What's going on? It says Dwight Howard's ex-boyfriend leaks alleged pics of Kitty. Wait, what? All right, wait. I'm trying to go to a reputable website. Hip Hop DX. Okay, I'll just do this. This is from Marca.com. The Dwight Howard police report from his sexual assault accuser is leaked. The ex-NBA star is accused of sexual assault and battery against Stephen Harper. The police report filed against the former NBA player Dwight Howard has been leaked as the former basketball star is facing a civil lawsuit levied against him by Stephen Harper, who is accusing him of sexual assault and battery. The claims concern an incident on July 19, 2021, during which the pair had sexual relations, but Howard maintains his actions were consensual. In the report, filed almost a year later to the day and shared by Radar Online, Harper lists himself as the ex-boyfriend of the NBA champion, and a third man named as Kitty Sankofa is also said to have been a suspect in information obtained by Radar Online. After flirting with each other on Instagram in May 2021, Harper was invited to Howard's residency in Georgia, where they engaged in sexual relations. Howard is then said to have left the room and returned with a man dressed as a woman titled Kitty. The claimant then became uncomfortable and alleges that the former NBA player performed oral sex on him without consent. Wait a minute, let me go back because this is kind of convoluted. So first they're saying they engaged in sexual relations, and then they're saying that, so he is a former. They're saying that Dwight Howard performed oral sex, but it wasn't consensual. Let me read this again. After flirting with each other on Instagram in May 2021, Harper was invited to Howard's residency in Georgia, where they engaged in sexual relations. Howard is then said to have left the room and returned with a man dressed as a woman titled Kitty. The claimant then became uncomfortable and alleges that the former NBA player performed oral sex on him without consent, but stopped once he noticed Harper wasn't into it. The incident reportedly reduced Harper to tears. The police invited Harper to the station to be interviewed, but he did not respond, and the case was subsequently closed. Harper then began further action against Howard in early 2023. Howard said that the pair engaged in consensual sexual activity and that Harper was aware of the presence of Kitty during the intimate relations as he asked for the suit to be thrown out. What was a private consensual encounter was made public for profit, and Mr. Howard looks forward to bringing the truth to light in a court of law. So basically, Dwight Howard is saying this guy is extorting him for money. Howard's lawyer, Justin Bailey, said in a statement, despite being an easy target due to the subject matter and his status as a celebrity, Mr. Howard chose to trust in the justice system and will rely on all future court filings to speak for themselves. Look at that twinkle in his eye. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Now, the thing about Dwight Howard is this isn't the first time that he's been suspected of being a sexual predator. There's video of him on the basketball court several years ago groping a fellow player. And when I tell you he grabs a big handful of his nuts, I'm just like, and it's blatant. You could see it, like it's when they're sitting on the bench. And then there's another picture where he has his hand on his thigh. So Dwight Howard, he's been suspect for a minute. Now, if he's gay, so what? There's a lot of gay men. There's a lot of gay athletes. The problem is that there's still this stigma against gay men, especially if you're an athlete, because it's really because of the male spectators of the sports. Most men that watch basketball, football, most straight men, they don't want to think that the men that they're rooting for are gay or bisexual. Even if you point it out to them, a lot of men, like if you point it out to your boyfriend, be like, yo, Dwight Howard, a little, he's a little zesty. He's going to be like, no, he ain't. So that's why you have a lot of athletes, they stay in the closet because, again, it's not, it's not totally acceptable yet for male athletes to be openly gay. So I think that's Dwight Howard's issue. Now, wasn't Dwight Howard married to Reese from Love and Basketball or Basketball Wives? Reese looked like the type that would marry a guy that's on the down low. But yeah, he got that twinkle in his eye. Now, this dude, Mason Elise or something, a few years ago claimed that he got with Dwight Howard and that he was dating Dwight Howard. So again, this has been floating around for a while now. Now, this isn't the one that accused him. I believe this is the one on the right. He's a good looking man right there. I believe the one on the right is the one that accused him recently. But before that, this dude accused Dwight Howard of having a fling. Wait a minute. Oh, Royce, that's her name. I said Reese. My bad, Royce. Yeah, that's her name. You said he looked like a damn church lady. But yeah, crazy story. So let's get into Dwight Howard's chart. Why is this here? Hold on. Oh, I can close it. All right. So unfortunately, Dwight Howard is part of my squad, Sagittarius. So he was born December 8th, 1985. He has Sun conjunct Uranus in Sagittarius, which could deal with him being openly gay. But he's the type that will, come out the closet a little bit and then go back in with Sun and Uranus opposing Chiron and Gemini. This is like where he's gay half of the time, or where it will slip out every now and then he'll put it back in. He has South Node conjoined to Pluto, which can make him prone to be hypersexual. That is a potentially sexually predacious conjunction. Not everybody with that conjunction, of course, is going to be a sexual predator, but the potential is there, at least to be hypersexual with that Pluto conjoined to the South Node in Scorpio, and to the point where he has a hard time reeling it in. He has a hard time controlling it. And then the South Node and Pluto are squaring Jupiter and Aquarius. That could deal with him being in conflict about his sexuality, and that can manifest as sexual perversion. So on one hand, the square could deal with where he tries to cover up the fact that he is gay or bisexual, but on the other hand, it can play out as sexual perversion. And with Jupiter's influence, this is where it's an overwhelming urge that he is feeling that makes it hard for him to control himself when he's in front of some type of, good looking dude or whatever. That's why he's extra touchy-feely on the court. He has Mars in Libra, which can make him still prone to get married despite his sexuality. But I see him mostly being into men than women. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that too. All right. And then let's see, what transits is he going through right now? They don't look too bad. You got Jupiter. No, that don't count. Neptune. So Neptune quincunx Mars right now. So that could deal with the secret that comes out about his sexuality, and where he is dealing with some embarrassment about it, and where he may feel like he has to keep a lie up, and that could point to a struggle to keep a lie up and maintain the same story, and also just the legal information being leaked. But yeah, so we got another sexual predator on our hands. And then we have Jada. Now, I'm not going to get deep into the situation with Jada Pinkett. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of her. I'm tired of seeing her bald head in the news. I would consider her to be a narcissist, but I would consider Will to be a narcissist too. If y'all were listening to those videos where I was reading from Will Smith's book, basically you could see the narcissism with Will Smith. But with Jada, you really couldn't see it in the book, but you're seeing it through her actions. So I said before that I feel like Will is the bigger narcissist than Jada. And it's like Jada as a narcissist, she's always struggling to be on top. But it's like Will always ends up being on top, which I can imagine to be very frustrating for her. Now, let's do a poll. Let me see. Can I do this poll from my phone? I don't think I can. All right, but we'll just do 1 and 2. So you want me to do you want me to read Jada's book? Because I was about to ask y'all, like, if you plan on reading Jada's book, press 1. If you don't want to read Jada's book, press 2. I really don't want to read it because I don't feel like going through all that, self-aggrandizement and her, and first of all, the title of the book, Worthy. I guess she's saying she's worthy of the lifestyle that she leads because she had to put up with so much from Will Smith. Okay, so we got 2 so far. We got a 1, 2, 2. We got more 2s than 1 so far. I feel like her book would be a snooze. And people are already calling her out as a liar. That's transiting Neptune opposing her sun right now. So transiting Neptune is opposing her sun. And that deals with people accusing her of lying. Like she said that she was selling drugs back in the day. People from Baltimore talking about, we never saw Jada out in the corner slanging that dope. And then people are claiming that she's lying about some of the details with Tupac, because she claimed that Tupac proposed to her when he was in jail. And I guess she turned him down. But also Neptune opposing her sun is also dealing with what people are saying about how she's humiliating Will. And that Neptune opposition sun is also dealing with her being shamed around this time. So I'm going to give you my opinion on what's going on with Jada. And again, I don't think it's as clear cut as it seems, because a lot of people are coming for Jada's neck. That's why she got that turtleneck on. A lot of people are coming for Jada's neck, and they're making her to be the bad guy and Will is the victim. But I don't see Will being the victim in this case. I think whatever Jada does pretty much is okay with Will because they have an understanding. So when people be thinking like, oh, she's throwing Will under the bus, she's making him look like a fool and all this type of stuff, I think Will is getting off on it because, again, it makes him look like the good guy. And he said she's looking like Q-Tip in that photo. It's such a vibrant thing, a vibrant thing. All right. So here's Jada Pinkett Smith's chart. So she's a Sagittarius rising with Jupiter and Neptune conjoined to her ascendant, which means that she's very free-spirited. It can also mean that she's very spiritual. And it can also mean that she's on a lifelong quest to gain knowledge of self. The problem is that Jupiter, which is her chart ruler, is conjoined to Neptune, and they're both at the 0 degree in the 12th house, which could cause her to give up too much of her freedom in exchange for, you could say, financial security or status or what have you. This is what's happening when you see this opposition. Saturn in her 7th house. This is representing Will, opposing her ascendant, Jupiter, and Neptune. So Jada, with her sun conjoined to Pluto, and this is the part where I kind of feel sorry for Jada. I agree, Bree. With her sun conjoined to Pluto, she's dependent upon a man. In this case, we know it's Will Smith, her husband. So even though she's saying we've separated, that conjunction is a big part of the reason why they claim that they're not getting a divorce. And it's intensified by the conjunctions in the synastry, which I'm about to get into. So while Jada may seem like she's strong and independent, she tries to come across like that. She's really codependent. She's dependent. Like this conjunction right here, I do plan on doing a workshop very soon for women where I talk about certain aspects involving your sun and Mars that can cause you to be vulnerable when it comes to dealing with men. one thing you have to understand as a woman is that the sun in your chart, as well as Mars, represents your man. Could be your man, your boyfriend, your husband. So this is why automatically out the gate, women are put at a disadvantage when it comes to relationships with men, because the sun and Mars are ruling men. So when you get with a man, if you're not strong and independent in your own right, and even if you are strong and independent, trust and believe you're giving a lot of that energy of the sun and Mars over to a man. And this is why it's so important that you have to maintain a large portion of that energy for yourself. Now, some women don't mind giving all that energy over to a man, but if you have your own destiny to live, if you are self-determined, then that's a lot of times where challenges do come forth. And this is what's happening with Jada. Like, Jada wants to be self-determined. Jada wants to live her own life. Jada wants to be strong and independent on her own. But with that Sun conjunct Pluto, she fell back on being dependent on a man instead of being someone powerful in her own right. So Sun conjunct Pluto people, they could be very powerful and influential, right? Be very prominent. But if they're not, like in Jada's case, she's not that on her own. Even though she has accolades, she has a number of movies out there and stuff, she was nowhere near on the level of Will Smith. But she wanted to be this empowered, phenomenal woman, you could say, with that Sun conjunct Pluto. So what does she do? She latches on to Will Smith once Will Smith extended himself to her. And we're talking about it all boiled down to health. Will Smith even mentioned this in his book. He said that Jada was on hard times when he went through his breakup and he was looking for a girlfriend. They went out a couple of times, and then one day he calls her up and she's talking about, I'm on some farm or whatever, trying to make it work and I can't make ends meet and stuff. And he's like, come to California. Next thing you know, they get married. So Sun conjunct Pluto in Jada's chart, instead of her using that to empower herself, she latches on to a powerful man, because Sun conjunct Pluto could deal with a man that's very powerful and influential. And as a result, she becomes resentful. Now, it was easier to deal with when she was younger. And her and Will, they've been together for how long? Long time, like 23 years, 25 years. So it was easier for Jada to deal with this when she was younger and really play the role of the supportive wife and all that. But the older that a woman gets, especially when she hits her 40s, 50s, the more she wants to be true to herself and really live her life the way she wants to live it, according to her own purpose. So she's still dependent upon Will, but now she's resentful. She's resentful for giving away so many years of her life for Will's benefit. Because at the end of the day, this is all about Will. Let's be real. Now, this is where it can get tricky, because I feel like both of them be playing each other a lot of times. So I'm not saying that like Will totally controls Jada. It's more so of codependence. Like, they're in a codependent relationship. Hold on, what's going on here? Okay. They're in a codependent relationship, and Jada has something on Will. Now, Jada's Saturn is on Will's ascendant in Gemini. Gemini rules books. So this is representing Jada's book, which makes Will look bad, basically. But she may not be doing this on purpose, but I think sometimes she is. So basically, this shows that she's the devil on his shoulder, and basically where he is under her control to a certain extent, and even in the form of mind control. But let me break this down further. And the mind control is coming in the fact that she knows his secrets, with her Saturn being in his 12th house. Her Saturn's at the 6th degree of Gemini. 6th degree is relationships. So this is basically where she knows his secrets about his relationships. Some of us that have been in the know for many years, we already know what it is between Will and Jada. Like, there's been rumors for years about Will's extracurricular activities namely with Dwayne Martin. So again, she knows his secrets, secret relationships, and threatens to out him. Basically, she's holding him hostage. But Will is holding her hostage too, in terms of providing that type of lifestyle that she's become accustomed to. So Jada's ascendant, Jupiter and Neptune opposing Will's ascendant. Basically, this shows that she can always out Will with her truth, and where she can hold the truth over his head. And this is basically where she's humiliating Will through her confessions, like with the red table talk and all that. Yeah, Jada's bisexual as well. I think she's more lesbian than anything else. So Jada's ascended Jupiter and Neptune in Sagittarius squaring Will's Mars and Virgo. Basically, this shows that Will tried to micromanage Jada. Remember, Will's life is micromanaged, period. He's a carefully crafted individual. He mentioned this in his book. Everything he's done has been according to a formula and a recipe, which is very much Mars and Virgo. So this is showing that, yeah, Will tried to micromanage Jada, but it proved to be unsuccessful. Also represents Jada breaking free somewhat, like, because she hasn't totally broke free from Will. And this could show that Will is a killjoy for Jada. And it could be because with that Mars and Virgo, he always wants to plan everything out. Like everything has to be orchestrated instead of being free flowing. Also, Will sees Jada as overbearing. Represents the time she had him on camera and he got mad. I don't know if y'all saw that clip, but I think she started going live on Instagram and she was filming Will, and Will got mad and he was like, look, you gotta let me know when you start filming and all this stuff. And he was talking about, my whole career is on social media and stuff like that. He was really pissed off that day, but that's dealing with that. Jada's Chiron conjunct Will's Aries North Node in the 11th house. This can be an exceptional connection with a male friend that leads to marriage. And again, it's showing that it's all for Will at the end of the day, this whole show. It pains Jada that her identity hinges upon her marriage to Will Smith. And Jada taking jabs at Will. So her sun and Pluto, this is a big issue right here. So her sun and Pluto are conjoined to Will's Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto and Virgo. These conjunctions don't give her much wiggle room in terms of trying to live her life according to her purpose and live her life on her own independently to a certain extent. So this is part of the reason why she ends up acting out, this heavy conjunction right here. So codependence is a major theme, mainly because of the Pluto influence. So again, keep in mind, Jada has Sun conjunct Pluto, and I already told you how that could play out. So it's being reinforced by Will Smith's Pluto being conjoined to her Sun and Pluto. So Jada, for many years, I'm sure she didn't feel like she was in control of her life, because again, it's all about Will. Explains why they say they won't get a divorce. So these conjunctions can produce a very tight bond where the two of them are damn near inseparable. And because it's Virgo, it's because, they're helping each other out in some type of way. Also, Virgo is a sign that where you become accustomed to your daily life with that person. So it's very hard to fully break free. Jada was in need of help, which is why she married Will. Because remember, this is in Virgo. Virgo is help. But she ended up resenting Will and herself for it. She resents the control and influence Will wields over her, so she uses Pac as a buffer. So the reason why she's always bringing up Tupac is because that reminds her of when she was her own separate individual. Exactly, Nandy. Nandy says she wants autonomy, to be seen as a sole individual now. And that autonomy is also shown through her Mars in Aquarius. Mars in Aquarius makes her really want to basically be independent and liberated. But that Mars in Aquarius is also representing the type of men she attracts. Mars in Aquarius, a woman with Mars in Aquarius can easily attract gay and bisexual men. But basically, she resents the control and influence wills over her. So she uses Tupac as a buffer. It's why she's always bringing up Tupac in the past, again, because it reminds her of when she was empowered in her own right as her own individual. And she likes to throw Tupac up in Will Smith's face to humble Will Smith. Remember, Will Smith got Mars and Virgo, which can result in times where he's being humble. So she'll throw Tupac in his face again, because it makes her feel more empowered. Like, yeah, this is the life I had before Will was even in my life, before Will had so much control and influence over my life. And she swears that her and Tupac never had sex. And I believe it. But again, she's holding on to Tupac because she misses her old identity. I believe that's what that's playing out. And I do believe that her and Tupac really were good friends and all that type of stuff. But yeah. Also represents their permissive approach to raising children. Usually more so the Jupiter and Uranus influence, with the sun representing their children. All right, enough about that. I just want to talk about this chick real quick. Child of mine. Okay, so I actually had to unfollow the Shade Room, y'all, on Instagram because I got so sick of seeing this girl's face. Her and the sexy red chick, and then what's that other chick, Sukiana and Blueface and all that type of stuff. So she's been problematic for a while now, her and Blueface. And recently she had a baby. Here's her baby right here. And she created some controversy because she brought the baby out to a meet and greet. And that, as you can see, the baby's very small. Basically, that's considered still a newborn baby. And you see how she has the headphones on the baby. I think those are probably noise canceling headphones because it's probably really loud in there. But I'm like, if you got to put on no noise canceling headphones on your baby, maybe you shouldn't be bringing your baby to a venue like that. Especially babies at that age are very vulnerable to all types of germs and things like that. But she's of that younger generation. And you know what? You can't tell these young people nothing. You can't tell them nothing. Okay. So I'm sure some people's, older women might have got in her ear, maybe even women her own age, and was like, girl, you need to go back in the house with that baby and stuff like that. But it don't matter because she's here for the clout, obviously. All right, here she is over here adjusting the headphones on the baby. Here she is with her ex, Blueface. You said she's not breastfeeding, Andy. Queen said Pluto and Sagittarius generation. Yeah, that's Gen Z. All right, so I just wanted to look at her chart a little bit to see what the hell is going on with this madness. I knew she was a Pisces. This is an issue right here. She got a Leo North Node, and Leo deals with children. So in this lifetime, you could say, oh yeah, it was her destiny to have children. But the issue is she got Neptune conjoined to the South Node, and it's opposing that Leo North Node. So this could deal with where she could be a little neglectful of her baby at times. Maybe not outwardly neglectful, but I feel like her bringing her baby to the meet and greet, which is what these oppositions are representing, is showing a little sign of neglect because you're not caring about the baby's welfare enough. That's how I look at it. And most women that, care about babies would agree. But yeah, that is an issue right there. The Neptune conjoined to the South Node. And we know Aquarius rules social media. So this is where she's creating a sensation on social media. First, it started off where she creates a sensation on social media by getting with a celebrity, Blueface. Now, some people have called her a rapper. Is she a rapper? I don't know. But now she's creating a sensation by parading the baby, her and Blueface's baby, all around. But yeah, she got Mercury conjoined to Venus and Pisces, which can make her very much about being in the camera. What was that noise? That was scary. I don't know what that was. Ever since it's been closer and closer to Halloween, I've been a little jumpy, thinking I'm seeing things and stuff like that. But yeah, where's the issue with those teeth? Okay, that would be Saturn, quincunx, Pluto. So she got Saturn, quincunx, Pluto. You could add Chiron to the mix. That's her getting her tooth knocked out. But yeah, I just mainly wanted to see the issue with the baby. Then she got Venus and Pisces, quincunx, the North Node. So she may claim that she's not getting enough child support at some point. All right, who we have next? Oh my God, this chick. Why does she look so dirty? I just wanted to talk about her chart a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm not going to wallow too much in this filth. But I just wanted to see what type of energy this chick was working with. But oh Lord Jesus, help me. But yeah, again, we're seeing like this is that younger generation. And forgive me for those who are of Generation Z and some millennials. I have to admit, I'm becoming an old fuddy-duddy. I'll be 50 in 3 years. So I'm starting to feel like some old prude seeing some of these chicks. But I'll be the first one to admit that baby boomers and us Gen Xers are responsible for this. This is our fault. Yeah, she's an Aries, which explains sexy red. But yeah, this is our fault. I'll take partly responsibility for this because Gen Xers, we had Little Kim, right? We even had what's that chick's name? Kaya. My neck, my back, lick my put and my like really. So that's why it's like when I do cringe at some of Sexy Red's lyrics, I have to think back to back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, when we had Little Kim and we had Kaya and we had who else? There was another female rapper that was kind of raunchy too. So yeah, I feel bad because again, my generation, Gen X, but also it's really started with the baby boomers, especially the later baby boomers. But yeah, Gen X was the one who really opened the door. And then next thing you know, the millennials, they're basically ruined. And then Gen Z, just forget about it. It's over. It's a wrap. But yeah. So Callie said, I like Sexy Red. But yeah, this is Sexy Red. What I wanted to really look at is why is she always carrying this bankroll? Like, why is she always carrying this money? Like, that is so tacky. And that navel piercing, at first I thought she had some problem going on with her belly button until I had to look closer. And I was like, oh, that's a belly button piercing. Now, Sexy Red has been reported as oh, thank you, Trina. Trina is another one, Adrian. Yeah. We had the Trina. I remember Trina had this song that I used to love, but it was so raunchy and nasty. It was called Off Glass. Yeah, that was a nasty ass song. But yeah, we have us Gen Xers, we got to take some of the responsibility for this. But yeah, so she's always holding the cash like this. And I was like, why is she? Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Those lips. Woo! That's a face only a stepmother could love. Oh my God. I forgot I had this in here. Look at that lace front. I feel like she tries to make herself look ridiculous on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not ugly. She's not unattractive, but I feel like she's trying to make herself ugly or unappealing for whatever reason on purpose. But I'm just like, Lord. Here she is right here again. And I feel like they got her wearing the glasses because they're trying to turn these nerdy girls out too. They try to let you know, like, you a nerdy girl, oh, you could come get some of this too. You could be slutted out too. All right, so Sexy Red, she got an Aries stellium, surprise, surprise. Sun conjunct Saturn. Now, that Sun Saturn conjunction on the positive end can make somebody very ambitious, hardworking. They're all about their career. They're all about making it to the top. They're all about status. But then on the negative end, Sun conjunct Saturn can produce someone who is satanic, for lack of a better word. And in her case, satanic meaning she degrades herself. Sun conjunct Saturn is her degrading herself basically in a number of ways. Then she got Sun conjunct Mars, and Mars is in Taurus, so that explains why she's always holding the money. Her whole image is based upon her holding that stack of cash, which is that Sun conjunct Mars in Taurus. She got Mercury in Aries, and it's in trine with the moon and Pluto in Sagittarius. And with those trines, basically it's showing she's as nasty as she wants to be. So when she's saying my puss is pink, my booty hole brown, that's the trines right there. Mercury, first of all, Mercury and Aries alone can make Fly Lily. I feel you. Mercury and Aries alone can make a woman very outspoken, ballsy. You know, she's gonna say whatever is on her mind, even if it's raw and uncut. And then the Pluto, moon and Pluto in Sagittarius, that can make her overtly sexual. And we know that Pluto deals with the puss and the booty hole. So this is like literal. My puss is pink and my booty hole brown. Pound town. Isn't that how she said, let's go to Pound Town? But yeah, and this also represents her name, Sexy Red. With Mercury and Aries representing red. And the sexy part is that's that moon conjunct Pluto. And like I said, she got Sun conjunct Mars and Taurus, her identifying with money, or where her whole image is based upon her holding the money. And I'm like, that is so whack and tacky. Like, that my Venus in Libra is so offended. And then the masculine energy, because she has a very masculine look. And I even was kind of wondering like, But yeah, I'll save that for another day. All right, let's get into the R&B singers. Is Kawaii Honey in here? Oh, I think she's going to miss this live stream. I feel so bad. I should have went live earlier, but you know me. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a night owl. Hey, Jupiter going wild. All right, we got 80 people up in here. Get the likes up, please. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Just give me just one more hit. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Just give me just one more hit. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Y'all know nothing about that. That's Public Enemy, their first album, Mega Blast. That's what that song was called. I got a homeboy who lives down on the block. He sells more crack than they sell fish at the dock. That was the shit. All right, Aretha. So you know we got to get into the Queen of Soul. Rock steady, baby. That's what I feel now. Let's tell the song exactly what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. But yeah, Aretha, you know, hit after hit after hit. But I'm not surprised because we're dealing with that Aries energy. And with Aries, you're prone to be number one. You can't stand to be number two. What it is, what it is, what it is. Rock steady, baby. That's what I'm feeling now. Oh, I used to love this album cover. Let me tell you, this is from one of her albums in the 80s. My parents got this album. Oh, it's one of her best albums. And I used to just stare at this album cover. I was a weird kid. Well, I don't know if other people would do that, but as a kid, would you just stare at some of your parents' album covers when they was listening to the music? Because I loved the whole aesthetic. I loved the bow in the back where it's like a big gift box. I loved her short haircut and how it was all coiffed around her face. I loved the lipstick, the bow tie. She had like a little tuxedo on. Man, I'm telling you, Aretha had it going on back in the day. Especially, I feel like she was in her prime in the 80s. Not in terms of music per se, because I believe her prime was in the 60s and 70s in terms of music. But in terms of her look, 80s, that's when she was in her prime because she had slimmed down a little bit. She must have had a good stylist around that time, because Aretha was always a little challenged when it came to dress. You know, sometimes her fashion choices had you kind of like looking sideways, like, what the hell she got on? But yeah, whoever was styling her in the 80s, they was on point. We going riding on the freeway of love. Yes, that was the shit. Remember, she had that song too, Who's Zooming Who? And then in the 90s, she came out with the song with Lauryn Hill. But a rose is still a rose. Baby girl, you're still a flower. That was the shit too. All right, so here's Aretha's chart. Oh, this is one thing I wanted to share with y'all. So I took a poll, not a poll, but I was gathering statistics about the list of R&B singers that Kauai Honey provided. And I wanted to see how many of these singers had personal planets in Taurus and personal planets in Pisces, because these are signs that can make for a good singer. If you got planets in Taurus, you got planets in Pisces, you got planets in Libra. Also, having some Virgo in there helps as well. So when I was going through the list, I was looking to see, okay, what singers got personal planets? And when we're talking about personal planets, we're talking about the sun, moon, Venus, Mars, Mercury. You could throw the ascendant in there as well, even though it's not a planet, it's a personal point, which is very important because it basically tells about who you are to a large extent. So I was looking for that, and guess what sign won out in the list that I have? I'll give y'all a guess. Was it Taurus? And before you answer, keep in mind that Taurus rules the voice. As you can see with Aretha Franklin's chart, she got Uranus conjoined Saturn and Taurus, and it's in trine with her Neptune, which can make her a really great singer, and where she can hit those high notes and all types of stuff. So Taurus is the voice, and it rules singing. Pisces is artistry, period. So do you think more of the people on this list, and there's a list of like 28 of them, do you think more of the R&B singers on this list got personal planets in Pisces or Taurus? Go. Y'all get your votes in. Do you feel that most of these singers got planets? I'll just say, do you feel like there's more singers with personal planets in Pisces or personal planets in Taurus? Diana said Pisces. Queen said Taurus. Callie said Taurus. Diana said Pisces. Christina said Pisces. Pisces Moon said Pisces. Abu said Pisces. Bree said Taurus. Moonlight Taurus. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Matthew Perry too, Nandy. Taurus. So it looks like there's a healthy split. It looked like it's split down the middle between people saying Taurus and Pisces. So let me just show you my results real quick. Okay. Let me share my screen. Damn, I got too many windows open. Okay. So we're going to go through the stats. And actually, I don't want to show you guys who's who just yet. So let me move this over. Oh, well, that really didn't work. And then I didn't even, so I did the calculation, but I didn't, I guess I didn't write it down. But anyway, Pisces was the one that won out. So there's more singers with planets in Pisces, personal planets, that is, than Taurus. And I was like, that's interesting. But it makes a lot of sense because Pisces is the all-around artist. So I just wanted to put that out there. But if you could see, I have Taurus, Pisces, Libra, Aquarius. I threw Aquarius in there because Aquarius is a composer. Aquarius also deals with music production, and Aquarius can what do you call that? It can lend to vocal range. Like, you know how some singers, their voices just soar. Like Aretha Franklin, for instance. Let's go back to her chart. I think she got something in Aquarius. She got Venus in Aquarius, I think. Yeah. Let me go back and share my screen. All right, yes. So you see how Aretha has Venus in Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign that deals with things that soar. So when you're talking about Venus in Aquarius, that could deal with a singer whose voice soars. It soars, it rises from the bottom to the top. And that's how Aretha Franklin sings. And she has a great range. So the range is coming through with that. And then she has Venus trine Jupiter, which contributes to her big voice. You know, Aretha Franklin had one of the biggest voices out there. And that also helped her with her writing as well. And she wrote a lot with her sister, like her sister Carolyn or whatever. Like she said, she wrote this song with her sister called Angel, one of my favorite songs. Gotta find me an angel. Doom, 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 doom. To fly away with me. Yeah, I can't hit those notes, but yeah. So Aretha had it going on. She had Sun in Aries, trine Chiron and Pluto in Leo, and that could deal with her being an award-winning performer, which she definitely was. And then also, like I said, she had Uranus conjoined to Saturn in Taurus, trine Neptune. That trine is basically dealing with her having all those songs that became classics. And then she had Mercury and the South Node in Pisces. So she's one of the Pisces in the Pisces group. And it was trying her moon in Cancer. And that's the epitome of being a soul singer. So yeah, that Cancer is what's producing that soul. So you'll see that, like, soulful singers, you'll see that they'll have some significant energy in Cancer. Also, I forgot to mention with Virgo is indicative of having a soprano voice, or where you could sing falsetto as well. Now, Aretha, I think she was a mezzo soprano, but I'm not sure. I'm not totally like well versed in the mechanics of music. Does anybody know who this is? Some of my older viewers will know. I was surprised Kauai put this on the list because I was like, oh, you know about this chick? Who's that? And don't say Adele Givens. Nandy said, I don't like the seemingly lie fallacy regarding her father, Reb Franklin, and now a new foul. You know what? I said I wasn't going to focus on the negative tonight for the most part with these singers. I'm going to just focus on the positive. So that's why I'm not even going to touch the situation with Aretha's dad and all that. Yes, Felicia, Millie Jackson. Yes, Nandy, Millie Jackson, Adrian got it. Yes. You know, I first learned about Millie Jackson at a record store with my mom. We were browsing through the albums. You know, this is back in the day where you went to a record store and all the albums were all like, you know, stacked, and you would just go through them all. And I remember my mom coming across the Millie Jackson album and my mom telling me, that's Millie Jackson. She's nasty. And that's the way my mom said it. She was like, she's nasty. And the album cover, I could tell my mom was telling no lies, because Millie Jackson was on stage and her legs, she was standing up, but her legs were cocked open. And I was like, damn, I guess she is nasty. And I was like curious about her ever since. Now, I never got into Millie Jackson's music. She's just not really my cup of tea. But Shamanic Journey said her song, You're a Hoe, is everything. But yes, old Millie Jackson. So Millie Jackson is a Cancer, and she got moon in Taurus. So she's in the Taurus camp with having a personal planet in Taurus. So she got moon in Taurus, and that can lend to her singing ability. And that moon is in trine to Neptune. And that deals with her being a recording artist, a singer, all that type of stuff. Now, I don't know if she started off with a group. Y'all let me know if she did, but I don't see signs of her being in a group. So she might have always been solo. But you see how she got that stellium in Cancer, and she was more on the soul singer. I would even say she was like a blues singer type of artist. And soul music, blues, all that, like that deep down backwater country town type of music, that's very Cancer type music. Then what made her nasty was she had Mercury conjunct Pluto in Leo. So that Leo can make her an exhibitionist, make her very much about wanting to perform. And with Mercury conjunct Pluto, that's like once she get going, like her mouth is just saying all types of nasty stuff. And that could deal with her, doing nasty gestures and stuff like that as well. Now she had Mars in Virgo, and you would think typically somebody with Mars in Virgo would be a bit modest. And from what I heard, she did start off being more modest. But then when she found out that sex sells, she was like, oh, let me get on this gravy train and do this damn thing. Now, she does have Mars conjunct Jupiter, and that could deal with her being outlandish. It could make that Jupiter basically in Leo is canceling out that Mars in Virgo. So it's basically, you could say it's kind of corrupting that Mars, and it's basically taken away from the modesty that Mars in Virgo produces. All right, enough about Millie Jackson. All right, who's this? Trivia, music trivia time. That's the way I feel about you. That's the way I feel about you. He said, if you get anything out of life, you got to put up with the toils and strife. Oh my God, don't get me started. Yes, Felicia, about time somebody answered. Felicia got it. Bobby Womack. Now, Bobby Womack, another one, very soulful with his music. It was through my dad that I became very familiar with Bobby Womack, because my dad loves him some Bobby Womack. That's the way I feel about you. And then he also had that song, A Woman's Gotta Have It. She got to know that she's needed around. When you kiss her, you got to make her feel it. See, Bobby Womack, he was the type of singer that put dudes up on game about how to treat women. And not just about being a simp for a woman, because he was also about, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, bitch. Yes, he said he was going to be long gone. So Bobby Womack was the type of alpha male that could love a woman and treat her with respect and dignity and, love her and all that and tenderness. But he was also the type where he was like, I'm not going to be a simp for you either, though. There's the door. Now, Bobby had some shit with him. Bobby was messing around with Sam Cooke's wife. And then when Sam Cooke died, he ended up marrying his wife. So Sam Cooke, who was one of the greatest singers to have ever lived, he was good friends with Bobby Womack. And yeah, Bobby Womack started sleeping with his wife. And then Bobby Womack started sleeping with Sam Cooke's wife's daughter, Linda Womack. How about that? How about that? So while he was smashing the mom, he was chasing after the daughter. Scandalous as shit. But I'm not surprised, because Bobby Womack is a Pisces, and Pisces can cross boundaries. Pisces men are some of the creepiest. For real. So, but it worked for him. He had Sun, Trine, Moon in Pisces. Sun, Trine, Moon in Cancer. So remember I told you about the soulful singers? That Sun, Trine, Moon, that was the soul. Again, a woman's got to have it. That's the way I feel about you. Nobody wants you when you're down and out. If you think you're lonely now, the song he sang with Patti LaBelle, Love Has Finally Come at Last, that's my shit. Just like an old cliche, one that simply says, ain't missed what you never had. And then Patty comes in and she's like, I thought that love was just oh my God, y'all gotta check that song out. But anyway, yes, Bobby was the epitome of soul music, and that's that sun trine moon right there. So sun in Pisces, trine, moon in Cancer. He also had Venus in Aquarius, and he had a voice that could soar too. It wasn't the clearest voice. His voice was on the raspy end, but I like men with raspy voices. So he had Venus in Aquarius, and that could deal with him being a producer in addition to being a singer, a composer. Because remember, I said Aquarius is the composer. So he composed a lot of songs. So he had Venus in Gemini, Venus in Aquarius, trine Mars and Saturn in Gemini. That is great for composing, for writing music. He has an ear for music. Like that trine just shows he got an ear for music and he knows what sounds really good. And then he had Jupiter in Leo trine Aries ascendant. So that really helped him, just with performing. I would say with that trine, he really enjoyed performing and he really gave it his all. All right, moving on. Anybody know who this is? Now, a lot of y'all may not know who this woman is, but I love this picture of her right here. I'll wait. That's the way I feel about you. That's the way I feel about you. I don't mind, I don't mind, I don't mind. That's the way I feel about you. All right, who's this? Please, please, please answer love. Yes, Felicia. Felicia, you know all these people. Betty Wright. Now, Betty Wright didn't get the, credit and the fame that she really should have got. She was one of the more, what would you say? She wasn't widely celebrated as a singer. But the song that sticks out in my head is No Pain, No Gain. And you can see the no pain, no gain aspect in her chart. No pain, no pain, no gain. And yes, clean up woman. So Mars conjunct Saturn and Scorpio, that's the no pain, no gain aspect, plain and simple. Her music was soulful as well, especially like her talking to the ladies, telling the ladies how to keep a man and how to treat a man, all this stuff. So she had a moon in Cancer. So you see what I mean here about y'all seeing the pattern with the Cancer? So far, we've had Millie Jackson being a Cancer sun. We got Bobby Womack with his moon in Cancer, and we got Betty Wright with a Cancer moon as well. Again, tonight is the night. Yeah. Make me a woman. Yes. Tonight is the night. Yes. Moon in Cancer. Soulful. That's what I'm talking about. And that whole tonight is the night, you make me a woman. That's very moon in Cancer, especially that South Node and Uranus in Cancer as well. She didn't have no choice but to really play up that role. Now she had the Sagittarius stellium, Sun conjunct Venus, which is really good for being a singer, good for being an artist in particular. And with the Sagittarius, this is about her telling the truth, laying it out in the open, like getting it out in the open about how male-female relationships really work. Wait a minute, Nandy, you're related to Betty Wright? Oh, wow, that is so wonderful. Yeah. So that Sagittarius, it gave her a lot of strength in her own right. And when she sang with that Venus and Sagittarius, she sang like strong. She was a strong singer, but she wasn't over the top with it either, which can happen when you got Venus and Sagittarius. You could like take it too far, but because she had Venus opposition Jupiter, she knew how to temper that Venus and Sagittarius to make it come out at the right moments. Awesome. You know what? I'm part Seminole, Nandy. I got Seminole blood in me. Yes, I got family in Florida. All right. Who we got next? Oh, Betty Wright also had Jupiter and Gemini trine Neptune and Libra, which is good for writing. Venus and Sagittarius can produce that big booming voice. But again, like I said, with her Venus opposition Jupiter, she knew how to temper it and bring it out when it was necessary and then hold back when it was, necessary. All right, who we got now? Hey, 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 doom, 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 doom. She's a super freak, she's super freaky. Everybody sing. Oh. Now remember, I don't know if some of y'all remember, but I always say Aquarius rules braids. Rick James is an Aquarius. You said, see, I knew I was drawn to your channel for a reason. Oh, thank you. But yeah, many blessings to you. Aquarius rules braids, and Rick James, he was the poster boy for those braids back then. And he actually said that he got the idea for the braids when he was on a plane and he met this woman from Senegal or somewhere like that, and she had her hair braided like that. And he was like, oh, I want to do that. So Rick, Slick Rick, has Sun in Aquarius, trine Neptune in Libra. And that is great for being a producer, which he was, a composer, which he was, and just like a cutting edge artist, which he was. All of those he was. Cutting edge, you could say unique. What's another word to describe Rick J? He was very liberated. He didn't feel like he had to fit the mold when it came to R&B singers, and he was very much on the funk end too. He was one of the kings of funk, I guess you could call it. But yeah, so funk, what was I going to say? Cutting edge music, being innovative, being inventive, and then also groups. Aquarius rules groups. And he had the Mary Jane girls, which Prince claims that, Rick James claims that Prince and Rick James were rivals back in the day, in the late 70s, early 80s. And Rick James told Prince about his idea for the Mary Jane girls. And then next thing you know, Prince comes out with Vanity 6. I think Prince came on the scene with Vanity 6 before Rick James was able to bring the Mary Jane girls to the stage. And Rick James felt some type of way. I don't really blame Rick for that, but yeah. So the Mary Jane girls is dealing with that Sun trine Neptune as well, but it's also dealing with Venus and Pisces, sextile, North Node and Taurus. But that same sextile is representing Tina Marie, because Tina Marie was a Pisces, and Tina Marie and Rick James, come on now, Fire and Desire, one of the best duets ever. Fire and desire, and we're both to blame, all the blame. Yes. The other day I was listening to Fire and Desire. I started crying. I couldn't take it. I was like having one of my emotional days, and that song came on. Love them and leave them. That's what I used to do. Use and abuse them. And the tears started. I think once Tina Marie came with that, oh man, the tears started flowing down my face. I can't hear that song on the regular because I get too emotional. But yeah, so Rick James, oh my God, one of the best that ever did it on the funk R&B end, and he definitely has aspects to prove it. Venus and Pisces trine, South Node and Chiron and Scorpio. That's where, the sexiness is coming in, but it's also showing how he was influential as an artist. And then he had Mercury in Aquarius. What is that? Opposing Mars in Virgo. And that could deal with some of the issues he had with working with people. Rick James wasn't easy to get along with. A lot of people saw the Chappelle skits with Rick James and him dirtying up Eddie Murphy's couch, talking about fuck your couch and all this type of stuff. This Mercury opposition Mars can deal with where Rick James didn't have no manners. Like he was just like, fuck your couch, fuck your wife, that type of thing, where he was liable to say anything, and he could be very offensive at times. All right, moving on. Who we got here?
If you see me walking
I think they were soulmates too.
and I start to cry each time we meet, then walk on by.
All right, who we got right here?
Walk on by. Foolish pride that you don't see the tears.
Come on, y'all. There we go. Isaac Hayes. Yes. Isaac Hayes. I love me some Isaac Hayes. His album Hot Buttered Soul, let me tell you, with the song Hyperbolic Syllabic Sesquidalamystic Can't Sleep at Night. If y'all don't know that song, play that song. It's called Hyperbolic Syllabic Sesquidalamystic. And it's an instrumental song for the most part. He be going down on a piano on that song. But Isaac Hayes, one of the best that ever did it. He has Venus conjunct Pluto in Leo, trine Moon in Sagittarius. That's where that deep voice, that deep, rich voice is coming from.
If you see me walking.
And you know, Leo men, a lot of them are very masculine. They're some of the most masculine men of the zodiac. So Isaac Hayes definitely displayed that masculinity. And then, you know, you see him in the picture with the gold chain thing. You know, that's that Leo too, with Leo ruling gold. And he was very good at orchestration. And that's where the Virgo comes in too. So orchestration, like on the musical end, Virgo is good for orchestration and it's good for arrangement. Like you working with the different sounds and stuff like that and saying this sounds better and let me turn the drums up or let me turn them snares down and stuff like that. That's where the Virgo comes in. And it just shows that he was very hardworking and he was a perfectionist when it came to his craft. But yeah, one of the best that ever did it. Love me some Isaac Hayes. And remember, he played Chef in South Park. And remember, he had the song Salty Balls and all that stuff. So yeah, he had the sense of humor as well. I definitely see the Sagittarius in him. And that Sagittarius also comes from, that deals with the fact that he had this album called Black Moses. And he started to refer to himself like as Black Moses. You know, Moses, one of the characters of the Bible. Sagittarius rules religion. So there you have it. I love Randy Crawford. Oh my God, Felicia. Randy Crawford has one of the most beautiful voices. Yeah, I learned about Randy through my father too, because my father, big time jazz. My father was so big on jazz. So I learned a lot about jazz from my father. And it was so funny. Like both of my parents are Aquarius, right? So it was so funny because they would have mutual music taste and then they would have like separate taste. But they were still like in agreement somewhat. But like, let me just give you an example. So both of them love Marvin Gaye, right? Both my mom and my dad. But then like when it came to bands, my dad was more of an OJ's fan, even though my mom recently went to an OJ's concert. But yeah, my dad was more on the OJ's end, but my mom was more about the Whispers. Both of the bands are real good, OJ's and the Whispers. When it came to the oldies, Motown, my mom was more about the Temptations and my dad was more about the Four Tops. And I love both the Four Tops and the Temptations. When it came to Teddy Pendergrass, my dad was more about Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. So Teddy Pendergrass, he first started off as being a member of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. And then he broke free and became solo. And then he was just Teddy Pendergrass. So my dad, he liked the Teddy Pendergrass more when he was with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. My mom, she was all over Teddy Pendergrass. I swore, I think she wanted to marry him. But she even went to his concerts and stuff like that. Big time Teddy Pendergrass fan. I love Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes and Teddy Pendergrass. So it's just funny over the years, like as a child, just seeing my parents have these different loves for music, but it all blended together anyway. Oh, I love Chocolate Girl. Chocolate Girl. Oh, Chocolate Girl. That song is so sweet. Oh my God, don't get me started. I love the dramatics too. All right, so that's Isaac Hayes. Okay, who's this? This might be a hard one for you that are not diehard music fans. Come on now, who's this? On a Bible to a mother, and a sister, and 2 young brothers. We sing it hard, we sing it kind of rough, but always with a smile. She was sure to try to hide the fact from us that life was really rough. I can hear my mother call. I can hear my mother call. All right, who's this? Come on, y'all. Not Bootsy. Every night, but Bootsy was in the band. Father, Father is for the kids. Any and everything I did. Please, please don't do me no harm. All right, this is not Sly. This is George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic. And this image is from the video and song Cosmic Slop. Check out that song Cosmic Slop. Oh my God, it's so good. But yeah, wouldn't you like to dance with me? We're doing the Cosmic Slop. But you know, Parliament Funkadelic, which was formed by George Clinton back in the late 50s. He's been around forever. You know, they're responsible for songs like Flashlight, Mothership Connection. What's another one? Turn Up the Mother, or We Want the Funk. They had a lot of hits, especially in the 70s. Like if I was an adult or teenager back in the 70s, I definitely would have went to a Parliament Funkadelic concert. But anyway, George Clinton, he has his Pisces, South Node, insextile to Saturn and Taurus, which is really good for making music. And then he had Neptune and the North Node in Virgo, opposition, South Node in Pisces. Now, George Clinton, he had a big problem with drugs. So Parliament Funkadelic, they were known to be like tripping on acid, smoking a lot of weed, taking Quaaludes, taking all types of shit, mescaline or whatever the hell they was going to use to get high. And then, you know, after a while, that shit catches up to you. So, I say Bill Clinton. George Clinton started smoking crack at some point, probably around the time that Atomic Dog came out. You know, that was one of the funkiest jams ever. But anyway, that Neptune and North Node in Virgo opposing that South Node in Pisces is showing his attempts to get clean. But it's also showing that he was slacking in terms of work and his need to be attentive when it came to his business. And that's because of the drugs. So he ended up losing a lot of money because he was always strung out on drugs all the time. Now, Parliament Funkadelic was very Afrocentric, even though they were very much inclusive of all races and stuff like that, but they were very Afrocentric. They had the mothership and they were talking about the pyramids and all that type of stuff. And that is shown through his Cancer energy. So he got Sun, Moon, and Mercury in Cancer. He got Sun conjunct Pluto, which makes him very influential. He's one of the most influential artists in the hip hop world. His songs have been sampled so many times. Yes. So, and he was a consummate performer with that Sun conjunct Pluto, like really gave it his all, went on stage, just would go all out with it. Mars and Aries makes him very original. And let me see if there's any other points I want to make, but that's pretty much it. Also, just Mercury conjunct Moon is good for writing. That can produce a really good writer, really good creative writer. And George Clinton would come up with these catchphrases, which can be very much Mercury conjunct Moon, catchphrases that catch on. So he would say stuff like, free your mind and your ass will follow, stuff like that. And people would catch on to that and start saying it. Or we're going to funk you up. Instead of saying fuck you up, we're going to funk you up. So yeah, that's very much Moon conjunct Mercury. All right, moving on. Okay, who we got here? Distant lover. Don't get me started on this man. Lover, you lover. so many miles away. Now, I got a story about this. Now, this is the same red cap, this knitted cap that he had on the Let's Get It On album. The Let's Get It On album, that's another album I would just get lost in. I would like stare at as a little child, because on the front of the album cover, it looks like, you know how the mind of a little child is a little off? So I remember looking at the album cover of Let's Get It On and thinking that Marvin's head was on fire, because it was a red cap and they had like this, they had, what would you call it? It was like an effect that they had where it kind of looked like his head was on fire. And I would just stare at that album cover and be like, and also because of my Venus in Libra, I really didn't like seeing Marvin Gaye looking kind of dusty like this. That's the best way I could put it. Or looking a little rough around the edges. Because if you know about music, Marvin Gaye back in the 60s, he was very tailored. He was very clean cut, wearing like the tailored suits and everything like that. So when the 70s came on board and he came out with Let's Get It On album, and he was wearing this knit cap, and his beard is all kind of, you know, haphazard and shit, and he looking a little rough around the edges. I remember my Venus and Libra was a little offended, and I was like, why is he looking like this? But then later on, when I grew up, I understood, because he got tired of playing this role of this debonair and sophisticated man, because he wanted to just, this is after he dealt with a couple of bad marriages and shit. So he's at the point where he's just like, fuck it, I'm here to record an album, I don't care how the fuck I look. But that red cap, that's very much Aries. So Marvin Gaye, Aries, and remember I said Aries is very much about being number one, and he definitely was. He had that energy about being number one, being the best, all that, being a solo artist. Marvin never had, like, he was never part of a band. He started off solo. So Marvin had Sun conjunct Mercury and Saturn in Aries. And that Aries for a singer can make them very original. So one of the things I love about Marvin Gaye, and this also, his Venus and Pisces contributes to this too. So Marvin's one of the ones in the in the Pisces camp. So remember, I was looking for who had personal planets in Pisces, who had personal planets in Taurus. Marvin Gaye was blessed with having Venus in Pisces, but also his South Node in Taurus and Uranus in Taurus. And that contributes to him having a really nice voice. That moon conjunct Neptune in Virgo, that deals with him being able to sing falsetto. And he could hit those high notes and be like, stuff like that. Very moon, Neptune in Virgo, trining that Uranus in Taurus. But also, what was I going? Oh, the thing about Aries, and then like I said, when you add in that Venus and Pisces, Marvin Gaye was an original when it came to ad-libbing in his songs. Like, if you just listen to Distant Lover and listen to his ad-libs, I'm just like, you could tell it was just coming instinctivly out of it. And Aries is about instinct. And then when you add the Venus and Pisces in there, you know, him singing, like him being fully immersed in the music. Pisces is that full immersion sign. So when you have Venus and Pisces, you're the type of singer that gets fully immersed in the music, in the song, and you're able to just let yourself go. And then you see the Venus trine Chiron in Cancer. Again, that Cancer energy, that's that soulfulness. So Marvin Gaye brought the soulfulness, especially in the 70s, when you heard him singing that Let's Get It On, and also What's Going On, the What's Going On album, the Ecology. Oh my God. And then there was something else I was going to say about Marvin that deals with something. What was it? Oh my God. It was something about Marvin I was going to say. Something I want to say. He also was a Cancer rising, so that helps with the soulfulness as well. Jupiter and Pisces trine Cancer ascendant. But there was something else I wanted to say about Marvin. Oh, this one right here. I do want to get my drawing tool out, but since Zoom changed it, I don't feel like doing it. But anyway, let me just point it out. So this is what, when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, that's what that is all day. So he got Venus in Pisces, trine Chiron in Cancer. That's the sexual healing aspect. Remember, he came out with the song in the 80s, Sexual Healing Makes Me Feel So Fine. Venus in Pisces, trine Chiron. Chiron is the healer. Venus in the 8th house, sexual healing, right up in that trine right there. Sexual healing is good for me. Sexual healing is something that's good for me. Hey, C. Thomas. But yeah, that's where the soulfulness is coming from. All right. Who's this? Some people were already calling his name out, but y'all got him confused with somebody else. And everyday people. Was that a wig? I think that was a wig he was wearing. I am everyday people. I like everyday people, but know what song I really like? Yeah, Sly Stone. Know what song I really like by Sly Stone? Thank you for letting me be myself again. That was the shit. Looking at the devil. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. That was a funky ass song. Thank you for letting me be myself again. All right. So Sly and the Family Stone. That was the name of the group that he made. Now, remember, groups are ruled by Aquarius. Also, you could throw Libra in there with bands, but the group itself, that's Aquarius. So you see that Sly Stone had Mars in Aquarius. So that's him forming a group, Sly and the Family Stone. Family is ruled by Cancer, and you see that Sly Stone had Moon in Cancer. He not just had Moon in Cancer, he had Moon conjunct Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith in Cancer. That Moon conjunct Jupiter, that's everyday people. That's basically him saying we're all everyday people. It don't matter if you're Black or you're white or you're all, Moon conjunct Jupiter, that's universal. That's like Jupiter in Cancer alone. Jupiter in Cancer is basically like, okay, race doesn't matter if it's done right. That's where you're looking beyond race and you're like, we have a universal family shit going on. Also, Pluto, North Node, and Chiron in Leo. So that points to him being an entertainer and his performances. Then you have Venus in Aries. That Aries just brings original music, which he definitely was bringing. And it definitely helped that he was a Pisces sun and had that Mercury in Pisces as well. He's just one of those artists that really lived music. He had that beautiful Mars trine Neptune. And again, that's basically him forming that group. Sly and the Family Stone. Now, he's another one that got caught up with drugs really bad. And you could see it with some of his aspects, like Sun opposition Neptune. He had Mercury and Pisces squaring Uranus and Saturn and Gemini. Like, I think he had issues with publishing as well, like being able to maintain the masters and his published writing. So he's another one like George Clinton that lost a lot of money because he wasn't keeping his eye on the bottom line because he was taking all those drugs. If you look at Sly Stone now, he looks terrible. Queen Double D said, Sly broke down. Wait a minute, I can't see. I gotta wait till this big heart is in the way. Sly broke down certain barriers in music, opened a lot of doors. Yes, that's very much Mars trine Neptune, him breaking down barriers in music. Very good. Then he had that nice Mars in Aquarius trine Saturn and Uranus. This grand trine he has is basically good for composing music, producing music, coming out with a new sound, a new innovative sound. And, they were very hippie-like. Oh, excuse me. They were very hippie-like, and that's that Aquarius energy too, but also Pisces as well. All right, moving along. Oh boy, look who we have here. An everlasting love, all you need is a mystifying love. All you need is an everlasting love. All you want is a satisfying love. I'm gonna give to you. I'm gonna have to hear that tonight. I love Everlasting Love from her. I also love Ain't Nobody. Of course, I love I Feel For You. I love Sweet Thing. What's another one I love? Got to Be There. Gotta Be There. She tears that song up. I don't know which one I like better, Michael Jackson's version or her I think I like her version of Got to Be There better. Be there in the morning. Now, Shaka's an Aries, as you could tell by them skinny ass eyebrows. Now, she hasn't dealt with the skinny eyebrows her whole career, but as you can see, in the early part of her career, before she had a stylist, makeup artist, and stuff, she was doing what came to her instinctively and had the very thin eyebrows because she's an Aries. I love Stay. I love Hollywood. I love what's the other one? Oh my God, I love Stay so much. What's another one that how about her rendition of My Funny Valentine? It's on the soundtrack to Waiting to Exhale. She killed that song. Or how the young people of these younger generations, they say she ate that song. I don't understand that terminology, but she killed that song. My Funny Valentine. Sweet coming Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Now, again, remember I said Aries be number one. Oh yeah, Do You Love What You Feel? I love that one. Aries be number one. And again, even though she started with Rufus, you notice after a while it became Rufus and Shaka Khan. And then Shaka Khan went on her own, went solo. But you could say, she was solo to begin with because she was the only female singer in the group Rufus. So Sun and Aries, let me see her. So she don't have women. What is that? So she got Sun, Trine, South Node in Leo, which is really good for performing, being a top entertainer, being one of the best. And she's one of the ones that has personal planets in Taurus and personal planets in Pisces. So do you see how she's blessed? She was blessed with musical talent. And she first started off playing the drums. So she knows how to play the drums. And she knows how to sing her ass off. That combination, having Taurus and Pisces energy, oh my God, like you can't do no wrong with singing, even though she has had some off moments during some of her performances, but that was the drugs talking. But anyway, she has Mercury sextile Jupiter in Taurus. Beautiful, beautiful aspect for being a great singer, really hitting those notes, making her voice sound like an instrument. That's the oh, stop it, Jupiter. You just trying to make me feel good. Make me feel good. Like Halle Berry said, make me feel good. Mercury sextile Jupiter. That right there, Shaka has a voice that sounds like a horn. And that Pisces, one of the music genres that Pisces rules in particular is jazz. And Shaka Khan always loved jazz. And you can hear the jazz influence in her voice and stuff like that. And she sang jazz with some of the greatest. She did a concert with Miles Davis one time. And oh my God, it was just great. But that Venus conjoined to Mars in Taurus, that just shows that she is a singer that sings hard. Like she belts out those notes. She doesn't hold back. Like that's no holds barred type of voice. Oh my God. Yeah. If I could see her in concert, I would love it. That Jupiter trine Chiron and Capricorn shows that she's an award-winning singer. But yeah, and this sextile, and then that trine, that's considered a mini grand trine. So that definitely helped. And look, Moon in Cancer again. So far, how many people have we had with Moon in Cancer? So far, we've had quite a bit. I think it's been at least 4 singers on this list. And remember, I said Cancer is bringing that soul to the music. Then she had the issue with drugs too, pretty bad. And she does have some aspects that can point to that. Just having Mercury and Pisces alone can produce issues with drugs. Another thing I noticed with some singers is you have a nice amount of singers that have Scorpio on the ascendant. And it makes sense because Taurus is on the descendant. And that seventh house is dealing with the public. So that's basically showing singing for the public, but it's also representing the record deals that they're entering. All right, let's move on. Do you love what you feel? 'Cause I love what you do for me. Do you love what you feel? I wish Kawaii Honey was here. Damn, she probably went to sleep. All right, who's this, y'all? The Isley Brothers, yes. One of the best singing groups that have ever done it. Not just a singing group, singers and musicians. You can't get much better than the Isley, but look at that little zesty one right there with his hand on his hip. You go ahead, boy. But anyway, you can't get much better than the Isley Brothers. Now, when going back thinking about my parents with the Isley Brothers, my dad was more into the Isley Brothers of like the 60s. My mom was more into the Isley Brothers of the late 70s and 80s. I like everything that the Isley Brothers have put out, just about. Like, some of y'all guys don't know that the Isley Brothers, they was making hits back in the early 60s. Like, they came out with This Old Heart of Mine. I love that song. This old heart of mine been broke 1,000 times. Each time you break away. Oh my God. If y'all don't know that song, you gotta listen to that song. I love you. This old heart, darling, reach for you. Summer Breeze, yes. Voyage to Atlantis, yes. Let Me Down Easy, yes. Footsteps in the Dark, yes. Between the Sheets, yes. What's another one? Lay, Lady, Brown Eyed Girl. Oh my God, the hits just keep going and going. Here We Go Again. And then remember Ron Isley, because I'm mainly going to be talking about Ron Isley. Remember Ron Isley, he revamped his career. Unfortunately, it had to be with R. Kelly. But remember when Ron Isley became Mr. Big? That's what you call longevity. This man has longevity. Yes. Choosy Lover was another one. Yes. Very good. What's another Isley Brothers song? Let's Fall in Love. Can't Let Go. I once had your loving, baby, and I can't let go. I remember my oldest daughter, when she was like 3 years old, I would play that song and she would sound so sweet singing that song in the back seat. She'd be like, and I can't let go. Oh my God. Don't get me started. All these memories are flooding in. But yes, the Isley Brothers, one of the best groups that have ever did it. Know what group I also love? The Dells. If you know about the Dells, then you're really a music connoisseur. Now, when it comes to the Dells, my dad was more of a Dells fan than my mom was. The Dells, they sang, Stay in My Corner, Oh, What a Night, The Love We Had Stays on Our Mind. Oh my God, don't even get me started. Okay. So Ron Isley, this is so beautiful because Ron Isley is a Gemini. You know, Gemini deals with, oh yes, who's that lady? You know, Gemini deals with siblings. So there we have it, the Isley Brothers. So he has Sun, Venus, Mercury in Gemini. That alone is like the Isley Brothers alone. Then he has Jupiter, Uranus, and Saturn, and Black Moon, Lilith, and Taurus. This man is walking music. He's basically music personified, especially with that Mars and Pisces. Pisces South Node, that Aries moon makes him very original. And you see he's a Cancer rising, soul music, soul. Remember, I said the common denominator with that Cancer is you bringing soul to the music. Music so soulful. You know, first of all, you know, soul kind of When you hear soul, you think of Black people. I just gotta put it out there right there. And basically, Isley Brothers, they spoke Black people's language with the music and the lyrics. They like, I'm actually surprised when I meet a white person and they know about the Isley Brothers. You know how there's just certain musicians and singers and stuff where they're kind of relegated to their own race? The Isley Brothers are like that, in my opinion, where if you're non-Black and you know about the Isley Brothers, you get special brownie points with me, because I'm like, oh, you really know music. Now, a lot of white people did know about the Isley Brothers with Twist and Shout and This Old Heart of Mine, but they're not really up on the Isley Brothers from the 70's era and the 80's. But yeah. But yeah, Isley Brothers with that soul, Ron Isley being a Cancer rising, that moon in Aries with the originality. You can't make this stuff up. He had Uranus and Jupiter trying Neptune and the North Node. Remember I said with that Virgo energy, I love Here We Go Again. Remember I said that Virgo energy is good for falsetto and soprano. So that's represented his falsetto soprano voice with the Jupiter, Uranus in Taurus, trine Neptune, and North Node in Virgo. Smoking Me Out. Remember he did the song with Warren G? She's smoking me out, smoking me out. Oh, she's smoking me out with a homie's love. I'm telling you, Ron Isley got that longevity. So let me see where that's coming from. Longevity in the music industry. Oh, that's Saturn, trine, Neptune all day. That's where the longevity coming in. She's smoking me out, smoking me out. Oh, and then he had that nice trine between his Cancer ascendant and Mars and Pisces. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, who we got here? You cannot run, but you can't hide. You can't hide. I betcha. Oh, and I betcha. Yes, I love Angela Winbush, Scarred Owl. But when she got married to him, I was like, oh my God, she could do so much better. But I see what she saw in him. She saw the music. And he probably treated her well and all that. Yep. I love me some Angela Winbush. Especially Your Smile and Angel. Yes, Maurice White. Earth, Wind, and Fire. One of the biggest, best bands. They were like R&B, a little funk too. Big on the horns. Do you remember the 21st night in September? Maurice White had that nice, smooth voice. And he had that great stage presence too. So Maurice White, he's a Sagittarius. So I'm proud that he's part of my squad. And he had Venus in Aquarius, which is dealing with him forming the group Earth, Wind, and Fire. And also trine Jupiter in Gemini, which is really good for writing and production and composing. He had Pisces South Node, sextile, ascendant in Capricorn, which can mean that he was really adept at working in the music industry, like knowing the music business. He was really good at that, especially with that Capricorn moon. What else did he have? Mars trine Chiron in Leo, and that could deal with being award winning. Let me see what else. He had a grand trine in his chart involving the Capricorn ascendant. What else? Wait a minute. Hold on. I totally lost my train of thought. I was talking about something with the Cap moon. Oh, I was talking about him being really good with the business sense. That's what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the South Node, sextile, ascendant, and you could add that Capricorn moon in there. That's what I was getting at. And then he had that nice grand trine. It was an Earth trine Ascendant in Capricorn, Saturn in Taurus, and North Node in Virgo. And then he had Mars in Aries trine Chiron, creating original material that's award winning, basically, you could say. And their stage performances were out of this world. All right. Does anybody know who this is? I love That's the Way of the World. That's one of my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. That and You Can't Hide Love. And what's another one? Can't Hide Love. Fantasy. I love Fantasy. What's another one? September is okay. I get kind of tired of that. Oh, I love Shining Star. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright. You see, yes, Felicia, you know all these artists. That's Philip Bailey. He was in Earth, Wind, and Fire as well. Now, he was the falsetto voice of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So if you hear the song Reasons, the reasons that we're here. That's Philip Bailey singing. He could hit them high notes. And the reason why was Philip Bailey had that South Node in Virgo conjoined to Saturn. And remember, I said Virgo produces that falsetto, high-pitched voice. And it was in trine with his Sun and Mars in Taurus. So with his Sun and Mars in Taurus, like, he's basically music personified. He's basically a singer that gives it his all. And his singing comes across, is like very instinctual. And then again, him hitting those high notes, the falsetto voice, that Sun, Mars, trine, Saturn, and South Node. So yeah, he got that. He got that. Then he had Moon and Gemini trine Neptune, so that could deal with him writing music. Did he play the guitar? I'm not sure. I like Write a Song for Love too. That's where he's really showcasing his voice. Oh, you're talking about Verdine. Jupiter Gone Wild with the silk press. That's Verdine White. Yeah, he had that ultra perm in his hair. I like I'll Write a Song for You. And then what's that other one? Damn. I forget what it's called. Anyway, moving along. I don't got much time left. Are we going to talk about Michael or Quincy? Which one am I going to talk about? Michael, Quincy. Damn, I still got a long ass list. Oh my God, I might have to do a part 2. I still got a lot to go, y'all. All right, which one am I talking about? Am I talking about Michael or Quincy? Surprisingly, Kawaii Honey wanted me to talk about Quincy Jones. She didn't mention Michael. So we're going to talk about Quincy Jones, but I decided to include the picture of Quincy Jones and Michael just to show you how close the two of them were. Just to show you how Quincy was always behind Michael trying to do something. I'm just like, Quincy is a little creep. And it makes sense because he's a Pisces. And like I said, Pisces men, they could be some of the creepiest. But I mean, I have to admit, Quincy Jones was a nice looking guy back in the day. So I could see how he was able to get the ladies. But Quincy Jones, he has Sun in Pisces, trine Pluto in Cancer. That's all the musical collaborations that he does. Sun in Pisces, sextile Chiron and Taurus, which is really good. That makes him award winning as a musician. Let me see. But I don't think he's ever sang. Has Quincy Jones ever actually sang? I think he just produces and composes music. You see, he has Saturn in Aquarius. Remember, I said Aquarius is the composer and producer. So there it is right there. And his Saturn is unaspected. Isn't that crazy? Which can be good to some extent, but then it could be challenging to others. He let his sexual proclivities get out of control with Tupac in particular. And I think that Saturn is very close to Tupac's Mars. Because Tupac had Mars in Aquarius. So I don't know if y'all know, but there was this infamous interview of Tupac where he said, and I heard this interview with my own ears, but you cannot find it on the internet no more. The internet has been scrubbed of this interview. But anyway, Tupac was given an interview and he talked about how he was dating Quincy Jones' daughter at the time, I think Kidada Jones. And Quincy got Tupac upstairs in his office and he asked Tupac to do him up the ass. He wanted Tupac to bust his ass out, basically. But again, you can't find that interview on the internet. And that's unaspected Saturn has a lot to do with it in my book. So you said check the Wayback Machine. Is that where I can find it? Have you heard that interview that I'm talking about? Nandy said, did you ever see the interview one of Miles Davis' wife did on here? She said that one day she got out the shower in the 60s while putting lotion on, and young Quincy Jones came across her screen. What? This sounds juicy. But yeah, so Quincy Jones got Venus conjoined to North Node in Pisces, Sun in Pisces. That really helps with the music. Mercury in Aries helps with being original. And just being a leader, which I think he was at one point, like a band leader or something. He started off in the jazz genre for the most part. He had Mars conjoined to the South Node in Virgo, conjoined to the Neptune. That right there, that Mars and Virgo conjoined to the South Node in Neptune, that's pointing to him procuring sex workers for artists and Hollywood stars at the time. So Quincy Jones was a bit of a pimp. He does have Pluto in Cancer, trine Sun in Pisces. So he would, get a bunch of chicks for their sex parties and stuff like that back in the 60s and 70s. And that Scorpio moon, that's him basically being like a manager, being a Svengali, but also being very influential. Oh my God. I forgot he was on this list. No, I didn't forget. But this man was like heaven sent. You can't tell me this man wasn't heaven sent. Even though he had some sinful ways to him, he was a musical genius. And not just a musical genius, he had such a big heart. Because once he passed, all the information was coming out about how charitable this man was. And Prince has a Pisces moon, which explains why he was so charitable. I'm just like, you don't understand. I'm feeling kind of lightheaded right now because Prince is one of my favorite artists, hands down. And I hate to say it, but I really didn't appreciate him until he passed. I guess because he's one of those artists that I felt like will always be around, kind of like Michael Jackson. We kind of took some of these artists for granted. So when they passed, it like really touched us deeply. I'll definitely say Prince's death touched me more deeply than Michael's death. And even though Michael was very influential in my childhood, Prince was even more so because it was Prince that taught me about sex. I mean, I learned about sex in other ways, but it was like Prince really taught you about sexuality. It wasn't just sex. He taught you about sexuality and how you could play around with your sexuality and how you could come across as, alluring and lustful, but also coy and demure at the same time. Like he was so magical with that Pisces moon. Like, let me tell you, what the interesting thing is both Michael and Prince had Pisces moons, which says a lot. Like, again, Pisces is just the overall artist. Like, and they basically live their art. Like when you have a Pisces moon, like you just are art, basically. Your personality is just art. You can't help it. Like you're dancing, you're singing all the time, you're playing instruments, all types of stuff. But, oh God. So Prince is one of the ones that has personal planets both in Taurus and Pisces. that alone can produce one of the greatest singers or musicians that have ever lived. So he had Pisces moon in the 4th house. He had Venus and Taurus in the 6th house. That Venus and Taurus in the 6th just shows that he was constantly working. Anybody that knew Prince, that spent time with him, would tell you that this man would work endlessly and he rarely slept. And that's dealing with that Venus and Taurus opposition Neptune. This is him basically being up late at night in the studio and not really sleeping much. But this also has more dark-sided implications as well, especially when you take his marriage into account, which I'm not even going to get into because I'm not trying to dwell on the negative tonight. But you see how Prince had Chiron and Aquarius, so he was very much about breaking the mold in terms of music. But that Chiron and Aquarius makes him a composer. I swear Prince was like a modern day Mozart. So Mozart was a composer. You know, Mozart was Aquarius. Aquarius is a composer. So he definitely had that genius with him, musical genius. But then Prince also brought the spirituality into it. That's something that Michael really didn't bring. Like Michael was like, it seemed like Michael was a total materialist. And it kind of showed with all the plastic surgery he got. Prince was much more on some higher vibrational level, like in terms of his music and just the way he lived his life for the most part. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Prince has some sinful ways. He was running through women like a running back for the Eagles. But, you know, that's part of being human. And I'm glad he had all those women because that's one of the rewards you get for being so dope. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the rewards that men get for being great. But yeah, that Venus and Taurus, that Venus and Taurus also deals with his fashion and everything. But also when you blend it with the moon in Pisces, how he was very much into the blouses and the ruffles and all that type of stuff. Then he had the Gemini energy, which is great for writing and just great for being versatile. And Prince, with his sun in Gemini in the 8th house, he reinvented himself so many times. And he had so many different looks over the years, soft and wet, yeah. But Prince has so many good songs. Oh my God, don't get me started. Pink Cashmere is one of my favorite songs by Prince. And that makes me think of that Venus and Taurus. And I'm giving you a coat of pink cashmere. You gotta know how I feel about you. I always want you near. I'm making you a coat of pink cashmere. Adore, of course. When Doves Cry, of course. I love Hot Thing. Darling Nikki, Computer Blue. And then he even had songs that had social, that was very much like social justice, like Sign of the Times. He had Money Don't Matter Tonight. He had You Make My Sun Shine, which was a tribute to dark-skinned Black women for the most part. And that's the thing I love about Prince. At the end of it, towards the end of his career and end of his life, you could see that he was trying to correct some of the things that he felt like he did wrong earlier on. So a lot of people don't know about this song, You Make My Sun Shine, but it's a song where he's basically talking about brown skin, dark skin, Black women, and he's featuring them in the video because prior to that, his whole career centered around racially ambiguous women or just biracial women. And I think when like later on in life, he started to see like, damn, I excluded a whole category of women. Oh yeah, I like Black Sweat. I like Face Down. Of course, 1999. Purple Rain, love Raspberry Beret. Yes, all of these hits. I love Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Yes. What's that other one? You Need Another Lover, Like a Hole in Your Head. Oh, yeah. And I'm such a Prince fan. I like all 3 of his movies, even though they try to clown Under the Cherry Moon and Graffiti Bridge. I ain't gonna lie, Graffiti Bridge kind of sucked. But I have all 3 of those movies because I'm that much of a Prince fan. Purple Rain, Under the Cherry Moon. I thought Under the Cherry Moon was well done, but it didn't receive a lot of praise. It got badly panned in the with the critics. But I loved Under the Cherry Moon. But what's the other one? Girls and Boys. Oh my God, he got so many goddamn songs. Like, and then, you know, after he died, he had all these songs that were unreleased in the vault. Like this, and he got a kite in his chart. Like this man, like I said, and I know sometimes he was difficult and impossible, but that's what happens when you're an ultra talented artist. I mean, look at that Pluto right on his midheaven, 29th degree. Like that's so much performing ability, entertainment. Like that's like being a consummate entertainer right there. So yeah, let me move on from Prince before I spontaneously combust. Oh God, who's this? Hello, is it me you're looking for? Now, he was a unique looking guy. I ain't gonna lie. I always looked like he had cotton in his cheek. You know, he a cotton mouth looking man. Sheila E was my favorite out of his female proteges. I love me some Sheila E. I wish they would have got married. Sheila E first and then Vanity. Vanity, I feel like, was his true soulmate. Like, because they freaking looked alike. It was weird. And but yeah. Lionel Richie, hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. Don't it look like he got cotton in his cheeks? You're all I've ever wanted. You know, that's a esoteric pose he's doing, where he's pointing like that. That means he's down with the black boule, like for real. But what I found to be interesting about Lionel Richie is he didn't have anything in Taurus, and he doesn't have nothing in Pisces. And I was like, and I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Lionel Richie, yeah, he started off with the Commodores. He went solo, but he's just not he doesn't have the greatest voice. I love Zoom. Yes, I love Zoom. He has a nice voice, but it's nothing to write home about. I may be just a foolish dreamer, but I don't care. 'Cause I know my happiness is waiting out there somewhere. I'm searching for that silver lining, horizons that I never seen. Yeah, I love Zoom. That's my shit. But yeah, Lionel, you know, I could see why he didn't have some of those markers of a good singer, because he was okay. He was more of a writer and a composer than a singer. Now, he did have Venus in Cancer, which can deal with being a soul singer. You know, when he came out, because she's a brick house. That's when he was really channeling that Venus in Cancer. But then he crossed over. So he has a crossover aspect in his chart. For those that don't know what crossover means, crossover is typically about Black music. So it basically means you start off in the Black music genre, R&B, soul, and then you cross over to mainstream pop music, which is what Lionel Richie did. So he started off with the Commodores, which was like a funk R&B soul group. And then he crossed over and became Lionel Richie, a balladeer, you know, singing, dancing on the ceiling and all night long and all that stuff. You know, this type of songs that you could play at a 10-year-old birthday bar mitzvah. You know what I'm saying? That type of music. So the crossover aspect is his sun in Gemini conjoined to Uranus and Cancer. That's him crossing over. And then when you add the sun in Gemini trine South Node in Libra, that's him being part of the Commodores, but that's also showing him writing songs, playing the piano. Gemini is good for playing the piano, but it's also good for the wind instruments as well. I don't know if he knows how to play a wind instrument. I think the Commodores were heavy on the horns, though. I think, yeah, think about it. Think about Brick House, because she's a brick house. Yeah, they were very much about the horns. And just having Mercury could join to Mars, that could deal with where you can write effortlessly. Know what song I love? Truly, that he sang. I'm truly, truly in love with you. And then I love the song. What's the song? I gave my best, but no, that's James Ingram, Just Once. I kind of get James Ingram and Lionel Richie songs kind of mixed up sometimes, but I love James Ingram's voice. And Just Once, that's James Ingram. But Lionel Richie, Crazy for Love. That's the song I love by Lionel Richie. I can't sleep. That song was in the movie Last American Virgin. I'm gonna need a root beer after this. I'm about to go put one in the freezer because I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2, y'all. I still got a lot on this list. Oh my God. But yeah. Oh yeah, 3 Times a Lady is good. I like 3 Times a Lady. I even like the song Hello back in the day. But I don't ever have to listen to that song again. But Lionel Richie, yeah, he definitely paved the way for other artists, especially like in terms of ballads. What else? He had Mercury, Mars, and Gemini, trine Neptune, which is great for being a songwriter. And like I said, that also deals with him being part of the band. He had Mars, trine Jupiter in Aquarius. So that's him being a composer, a producer. Oh, Endless Love. Remember Endless Love? He sang with Diana Ross. That was the shit. My heart or something. Wait a minute, how's that song start? And I want to share all my love with you. No one else will do. And your eyes. That song is so sweet. All right, she might be the last one I do tonight, and then I might do the rest tomorrow. Because I got my life to think about, and it's about midnight. And because I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize I can't pull these all-nighters anymore. So I apologize, but we're probably going to end it with Stephanie Mills. And then this is good because it's going to give Kawaii Honey, the one who sponsored this video, a chance to join part 2, the chat. And then what I'll do is I'll email her and wait, Queen Double D said, Rahbinah, Lionel has been stalking Diana since that song. Look up the video on him. Oh my God, really? Yes, Stephanie Mills. But yeah, like I was saying, that'll give me time to reach out to Kauai and at least try to coordinate with her schedule so that she could join the live stream because she sponsored this video. And that way she could chime in. And if she wants to add more artists to the list, because honestly, I would love to see Teddy Pendergrass on the list, which she didn't add. I would love to see Luther Vandross on the list. Who else? There's a number of artists from the 70s and 80s that I would like to see added to the list. But Stephanie, oh my God, I love me some Stephanie Mills. She's another one I grew up on. Now, both my dad and my mom love Stephanie Mills. So she had an album. What was it called? On the album, it was Never Knew Love Like This Before, but I'm trying to think of the name of the album. But anyway, I used to get lost in that album cover as well. I used to just get lost in the music and in the imagery as a kid. But anyway, Stephanie Mills, consummate singer, one of the best that's ever did it. I mean, she was Dorothy in the fucking Wiz. Like, come on now. And she did that for years. And I'm so grateful that I was able to see the Wiz play. I saw it live when Stephanie Mills was playing Dorothy. I saw it live. So I'm so blessed. I think I was like maybe 8 years old at the time when we went, but it was bittersweet because when we got out of the play and we were driving home, we were listening to the radio, and on the radio, we learned that Marvin Gaye had died. So yeah, that was a bittersweet day for us because we came back in high spirits about the Wiz play and seeing Stephanie Mills live, and she did a phenomenal job. And then on the way home, we get news that Marvin Gaye was, killed. So yeah, it was a bittersweet day. But I mean, I'm just so grateful that I got a chance to see the Wiz the stage play and also to see where Stephanie Mills was playing Dorothy. So Stephanie Mills playing Dorothy in The Wiz, that's her son in Aries, because Aries deals with names. So Dorothy, and then conjoined to Venus and Pisces. That is her playing Dorothy in The Wiz. And then again, with her being an Aries, Aries is number one. Aries is the solo. So she never was part of a group. She didn't have to rely on being in a group first to break out. She started off being solo. She has Sun and Mercury and Aries, sextile Mars and Gemini, which makes her a really good writer. And that makes her a good vocalist. You know, you got some singers and you got vocalists, right? Stephanie Mills is both. She's a singer and a vocalist. You know what I'm gonna give you an example of who is not a vocalist. And maybe I got the wrong term, but this is the best way I can describe it. Think about how Stephanie Mills sounds when she sings songs versus Janet Jackson or even Mariah Carey. Now, Mariah Carey can sing her ass off, and both Mariah and Stephanie Mills are Aries. But Stephanie Mills is a vocalist. Why? Because of the way she vocalizes the lyrics. Very clear. You can hear what she's saying. When it comes to other singers like Mariah and Janet Jackson, sometimes you can't understand what the hell they're saying. So you got to get out the lyrics and you got to read. And then sometimes you be like, damn, I've been singing that song wrong the whole time. I thought she was singing chick, but she was actually singing dick. But yeah, Stephanie Mills is one of those singers where the way she enunciates her words, the lyrics, very clear, very bold, very unhindered. And she's another one that belts out the tunes. Now, she got a Taurus South Node, which helps with singing, and it gives her that nice voice and vocal talent. She has South Node in Taurus, sextile Venus in Pisces. So she's one of those, she's one on the list that has a personal planet in Pisces, which definitely helps. And Stephanie Mills does have that kind of cartoonish voice when she talks. And that's that Venus and Pisces too, because Pisces can produce that cartoonish voice. She had that nice moon in Sagittarius, trine Pluto in Leo. That helped her to be that full-bodied singer as well. Like, she's very small and petite, but her voice is like this, you know, on the level of like a giant, like an Amazon woman. She had Venus and Pisces, trine North Node in Scorpio. That's her collaborations with other artists like Teddy Pendergrass. She did Feel the Fire with Teddy Pendergrass. She also did this disco song with Teddy Pendergrass. She did like 3 different songs with Teddy Pendergrass. And then that's pretty much it with Stephanie. But yeah, so I'm going to close out this live stream, but I'm coming back with part 2 of the R&B singers of the 70s and 80s. If anybody has any suggestions on who you would like to see me add, I'll write them down right now. I can't promise that I'll include them, but I might include some of them. So right now, you know, just put down who you would like to see, like me just do a little brief rundown on their chart and discuss them or whatever. Artists from the 70s or 80s in particular. And I got my notebook ready to write it down. Donna Summer. Yeah, I thought about doing Donna Summer. She's not on my list, so that's a good one. Donna Summer, she was a Capricorn, I believe. She had that Capricorn look. So Donna Summer. Oh, I thought about doing Donny Hathaway too. His life, oh my God. Oh, I love that song. Someday We'll All Be Free. Tina Marie is a good one. The fact that a lot of these older artists had Neptune and Libra definitely helped them with their singing careers. And that could explain why music was so good back then as opposed to later on. Even with Neptune and Scorpio, Neptune and Sagittarius, music was really good still. But the generation that had Neptune and Libra that was putting out music, oh my God, it's like unparalleled. Gladys Knight, Natalie. Oh yeah, I definitely want to look at Natalie Cole's chart. Natalie Cole, Linda Jones, Hypnotized. I didn't know she was a Sag. You got me hypnotized. That was my shit. All it took was just one little look into your eyes. She took that song a little too far, though. But you know how us Sages do. We could take things too far. Vesta, sweet, sweet love. Blue Magic, let the sideshow begin. Hurry up. Step right on in. That song makes me sad. Yes, the Dells. Woo! Stay in my corner. You'll make me oh so proud. Charlie Wilson of the Gap Band. Yes, Norman Connors. You are my life. That's Michael Henderson was singing that. I have to go. Oh my God. Y'all making me feel some type of way. Roberta Flack, yes. The Closer I Get to You, that duet she did with Donny Hathaway. Okay, Otis Redding, poor Otis. And that's not the Ain't Nobody Coming to See You, Otis. This is Otis Redding. Everybody wanted to see Otis Redding, but not Otis Williams of The Temptation. Gloria Gaynor, Disco Queen, Abby Lincoln. My dad has some Abby Lincoln albums. Stylistics. Yes, I love the Stylistics. Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson. Now, Mary kind of boring. Wasn't Mary Wilson a Pisces? Martha Reeves. A Heat Wave. Dennis Edwards. Don't Look Any Further. India Irie. Wait a minute. India Irie, that was more in the 90s. David Ruffin, Gloria Gaynor, we already said that. I already covered Bobby Womack Beat. Martha Wash. Everybody dance now. And she's the one, she was in 2 Tons for Fun. It's Raining Men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Minnie Riperton. Back down memory lane. Yeah, I should do Minnie. You can see inside me. That song is so nasty. But see, that's how you had, that shows you had class back in the day. You could sing a nasty song like that, but make it sound so beautiful. Inside My Love, that song she was singing. You can see inside me. Do you want to ride me? Do you want to ride inside my love? That was the shit. All right. I think I got a nice list here. Who else we got? Anthony Hamilton. You and Anthony Hamilton had a tryst? Damn, Nandy. I hope it was good. Coming from where I'm from. I'm going to have to listen to that tonight, Nandy. Coming from Where I'm From by Anthony Hamilton. That's my shit. Sometimes you gotta moan. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes you gotta cry a little bit louder. Sometimes you gotta fight the pain. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes you gotta walk alone. Yeah. All right, Anita Baker, that's a good one. I heard Anita Baker is a bitch. So we're going to look at her chart to see what makes her such a bitch. But she ruled the 80s, though. I ain't even going to lie. Bobby Caldwell, What You Won't Do For Me. Paul McCartney. Okay. Linda Clifford. Atlantic Star, Don't Get Me Started, the arrow. Goodbye. Doesn't mean nothing with you and I. Those ad-libs in that song, Sing For Me. Oh my God. Our love has stood through all the tests of time. See, again, going back to my parents, my mother was a big Atlantic Star fan. My dad, not so much. He was more on the Rose Royce in. My dad loved Rolls Royce. Remember, I want to get next to you, and Car Wash. But my mom, she loved herself some Atlantic Stars. She had all their albums. I promise I'll never make you blue. I want to get next to you. If you have never seen the movie Car Wash, definitely watch Car Wash. It's a movie from the 70's and it has, some known actors in there. Oh my God, that movie is so good. And the soundtrack is even better. You talking about LTD now, Felicia. Oh my God. Love Ballad is one of my favorites, but I love Please Stay. We both deserve each other's love. Where Did We Go Wrong? Midnight Star, I love. Oh, what about the SOS Band? Oh my God. I love me the SOS Band. Tell me if you still care about me. That's the shit. Let me know. Oh my God, how could I have forgotten the Delphonics? Oh my God. Oh, I love Carole King, Jupiter Going Wild, Pointer Sisters. They were in Car Wash. Put a message in a bottle, baby, baby, baby. Send for me. Wet my whistle. I remember that. Yup. Remember Juicy Fruit? You know very well. That was by Matume. What you are, you're my sugar thing, my chocolate star. That was the shit. They don't make songs like they used to. Juicy Fruit. Juicy. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Brothers Johnson with Strawberry Letter 23. Yup. Concentrate on you. Open 642. I love that part when Jeffrey Osborne at the end, he's like, do you remember? Wait a minute. When I used to take you out. Wait a minute. No, he was like, do you remember when I would come by to pick you up and take you out? We had a love call. Yes, we did, girl. And it went something like this. And then he's like, do 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 do. That was my shit. Oh yes, Patrice Rushen. Send me forget me nots to help us to remember. King Jason, you talk about Joystick by the Daz Band. I got a bad story about that. I'm too embarrassed to talk about it, but it was a real cringy moment with that song Joystick. Smokey. Oh, Cameo, Word Up. Yes. She's Strange. And the song She's Strange, which is about transgenders. And I like it. George Harrison. He was always my favorite of the Beatles. Just the way she is. She's strange. Jupiter Going Wild with your old soul. You're such an old soul. You ain't mentioning Tony Bennett. Next, you're going to be talking about Frank Sinatra. Actually, I love some Frank Sinatra. My dad put me on to Frank Sinatra at an early age. My dad used to listen to Frank Sinatra every Sunday morning. Sammy Davis Jr., yes. Shalimar. I love me some Shalimar. Make this a night to remember. Get ready tonight. Shalimar with Jody Watley. Come on now. How she had her breakout solo career. Man, Jody Watley, and she just had that cool girl look of the 80's. Oh my God. Like, especially Don't You Want Me video. When I first laid my eyes upon you. She's an Aquarius. I knew right then and there you were the one. And her husband at the time, who was Prince's best friend back when they were children, what's his name? Oh my God, Andre something. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Who was Jody Watley's husband? And he was also in Prince's first band, and he was friends with Prince. His name is Andre something. Oh my God, I can't. Somebody got to know. Andre. What's his last name? He was fine as hell. Go look at that "Don't You Want Me" video by Jody Watley. He's sitting in the car in the first scene where he's featured in. But why can't I think of his last name? Andre. Oh my God, Andre. But yeah, Andre and Prince, they were good friends. Prince used to even live with Andre for a while. I know that's your Capricorn selling, not Andre Harrell. Oh God, I forget his last name. You know, I was never a big fan of Babyface. He's annoying to me. Not Andre Harrell. Hold on. Andre Simone. Thank you, Shamanic Journey. Andre Simone. He was friends with Prince when they were young, when they were school. They met each other in junior high, I think. And then when Prince got kicked out of his house, he went to live with Andre Simone and Andre Simone's mother. And then Andre Simone, thank you, Queen DD. Andre Simone was in Prince's first band. And then that didn't work out. And then Andre Simone met Jody Watley later on down the line. Yeah, she dated Jeffrey Daniels too. And then she ended up marrying Andre Simone, but that didn't work out. I love Rochelle Farrell. Oh my God. Especially that song she did with Will Downing. Nothing has ever felt. Oh my God, let me tell y'all. I wish I could have recorded this. I went on a cruise in September and I got up enough nerve to sing karaoke only because my friend was singing with me. Guess what song we sang? I'm going to give y'all a hint. It's a song from the 90s and it's by a girl group. And guess what, y'all? The crowd loved us. They loved us. We brought the house down, mainly because everybody loves the song, but they loved our singing too. And my friend, she's a Libra. I'm a Sagittarius. I vibe real well with Libras, so you know it was on and popping. I wish we could have recorded that performance. Nope, it wasn't in vogue. Nice try, though. It was a very popular song in the 90s by a girl group. And yes, we brought the house down. Karen White's on my list already. Lonely Teardrops, Jackie Wilson. No, we didn't do In Vogue. Maybe next time I do karaoke, I'll do an In Vogue song. Nah, I'll probably do it. Nah. Nope, not TLC, not Escape. And that was so fun too, not Total. Come on, guys, you gotta get it. Yes, SWV. So what song did we sing from SWV? And we brought the house down because everybody loves this song. Not You're the One. Yo, you know how hard it is to sing that song, You're the One? Coco hitting those notes. You're the one. I would never try to attempt that song. Yup, Felicia, we sang Weak. I get so weak in the knees. Yes. We had so much fun. Yup. And that was the first time I ever did karaoke. It took a lot for me to get up there and sing and that it was pretty packed in there too. But because I had some liquor in me, I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, but I'm a wrap it up. But thank y'all for attending this live stream. I had a lot of fun. I'm happy to be back. Yeah. And like I was saying before, this year has been not a typical year for me. I've been dealing with some heavy transits practically the whole year. Neptune's been squaring my Mars, Pluto squaring my Venus. And yeah, so I'm not like in the same mode that I usually am. You know, I usually do much more live streams and stuff, but I'm gonna, before this year ends, I'm gonna be doing much more, many more live streams. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, I do want to put on a workshop very soon. So but this is going to be for ladies, for the women. heterosexual women in particular, but lesbians, you could learn a lot from it too. But I really want to, teach y'all some things about men astrologically. So I'm thinking about putting a workshop on about that. What else? I'm going to be doing my 10 tips for Scorpio season very soon. So stay tuned for that. And oh yeah, let me write down Sade. And then I got some more sponsored videos to do. So stay tuned for that. I got a video that I'll be posting on Halloween, or I might do a live stream on Halloween about this one particular person because they're a monster, like they're a real live monster. So Halloween, I want to do a live stream and make it real spooky where I'm talking about some of the most depraved individuals. So yeah, let's make a night of it on Halloween. But like I said, I might do part 2 of this R&B live stream tomorrow. If I don't do it tomorrow, it'll be sometime next week. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for your continued support. Love you guys. Stay cool. And I'm out.